Okay, hi real chat. Can you guys hear me? On Twitch? On Twitchy? 13 minutes later, sorry. 13 minutes later. Hi. Oh, wait, you guys have... it's been 13 minutes and you started a horny gulag? What? What is going on over here? Can't leave you alone for a minute. Can't leave you alone for 13 minutes. Hi, everybody. Okay. I still have Burger Egg pulled up, and I'm going to switch over. So, you guys come over to real Twitch chat if you would like. That's the real chat. It's twitch.tv/Madeline Pendleton. My username here, but no underscore, okay? It's like exactly the same. Come on over. And we talk about politics there. And if you have questions and DoorDash, I haven't seen this video, but I can tell you right now that if you were trying to rebrand middle class white lady hysteria about poor men of color wanting to sexually assault you all the time, you are not progressive. That is some straight up like Hitler shit. That is literally a justification that led to lynch mobs attacking young black men, all right? The DoorDash drivers don't want to sexually assault you. Many of them are undocumented and using family members' info for their accounts so they can make a living. That's it. And the ones who aren't, because they are making less than minimum wage, they have to use multiple phones with multiple accounts logged in to be able to do multiple drops at the same time in order to game the system to be able to afford rent. That is all that's happening with the DoorDash drivers. The poors are not a crazed, delusional group of men of color seeking to sexually assault the middle-class white women ordering food delivery services. That is an insane thought process to have. These people are crazy. Burger Egg's crazy. Tip your DoorDash driver. Yeah, they're terrified of the poor delivering them their food. They're terrified of the servants. The servant class is scaring them. It's crazy. I know. They're always doing whites. You guys are just rebranding white supremacy. It's like you're failing an open book test. Especially if you're an American. You saw how this thought process panned out. It led to Emmett Till. Why are you doing it again? Why are we doing mass hysteria that the poor men of color want to sexually assault all of the women? That's crazy. No, of course I don't reject a centralized state. I'm not an anarchist. So, okay, hi. There's some left comms. There's some hysterical liberal women in the chat. They're like the actual definition of hysterical. Like they're engaging in a mass hysteria about DoorDash drivers. Not like the women are crazy. No, like there's an actual hysteria going on in the chat. Okay, do we think China's strategy could appropriately be called socialism in one country for the neoliberal era? I mean, they call it socialism with Chinese characteristics. I'm inclined to just go with that. What is happening? Oh God, I'll tell you guys all about it. It's crazy. I know, TikTok, it's just like the dumbest people on the planet fighting with each other and high-fiving each other and spitting in each other's mouths. Yeah, so very, very interesting. Yeah, the treat-lorites should all be forced to do mandatory food delivery as undocumented workers. Yeah. You have to stay off TikTok more. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay, so you guys come join us over on Twitch. Yeah, download Twitch again. I think if you like watching live streaming, it's a better platform for it, very fucking obviously. This is not... I couldn't even load a green screen feature to show you an image. Like, that's how crazy it is. It wouldn't even, like, open any of the filters for me to try to show you that text thing. I didn't sell enough SPF. I'll try harder, Brody. I'll sell more sunscreen. I'm so sorry. Hi, Sock the Rat King. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Should China embargo the U.S.? It's economic violence. I mean, like, no, because it hurts people, and they wouldn't probably because of that, but I would understand if they did. You know? Yeah. So, come on over. Join us on Twitch. We're doing it. It's happening. We are talking about the news today. We're talking about the news. I actually have a special treat for you guys on Twitch today. Because I got to see a Black Panther speak over the weekend. I was just going to play the speech for you guys that he gave, the little talk he gave. And I actually might be able to find an older talk he gave, too, if you guys want to watch two speeches from the Black Panther. here. And I figure I just realized this. I was like, we get to see Black Panthers in California as communists at Everything Talk. But if you're not a California communist, you might not get to see them that much. So I thought you guys might want to see it. It's pretty cool. He's funny as hell, this guy, too. And you know what's funny? Do you remember when I got canceled for mispronouncing Kamala Harris's name? Well, this guy could not pronounce her name to save his life. And he was like, who fucking cares? I'm just going to call her Condoleezza Rice. They're all the same anyway. I was screaming. So, the Black Panthers call her Condoleezza Rice. I don't know. I don't know if that does anything for anybody. Marx rejects a centralized state. Why did he doesn't? That's not true. You just don't understand Marx, unfortunately. You just don't understand Marx. You don't understand the transition thing at all. Like, at all. Which is interesting. All the left coms, they have it in common. I don't know how they're rejecting the transition of things. Because it's like, Marx talks about that pretty often. I don't know how you made it this far rejecting that. But you also made it this far rejecting Engels. And they literally published books together. So I guess I shouldn't expect much from you. Right? That's pretty funny. Yeah. They don't like Engels. They're like, no, I love everything Marx said except for endorsing Engels. Except for saying we wrote this together. They don't like that. It's so funny. You have the books. Well, left comms hate them. They've invented their own thing. Anarchism with extra steps. Oh, it's so funny. It kills me. Cracks me up. So good. But you know what? Again, you guys are kids. You're supposed to be like this. If you're a teenager, this is how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be annoying as hell. Adults are supposed to laugh at you. Generation gap, whatever, man. Like I said, you'll keep reading. You'll get there. You'll get there. Whatever I have laying around for hair dye. It's nothing special. I don't know. Lilith, hello. Well, I wonder if you're 52. Does that count? Yeah, you're an adult. You're with us. Are you a left com? Are you a 52-year-old left com? How does that happen? I have questions. 205. We're good. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna hang up here. Children, don't come to a Twitch stream. Read a book. Read a book. Look for an org near you. I don't care if it's a left com org. If you guys even have those, if they exist, join them. Ancom, whatever. Join the anarchists. I don't care. Just do something for real. If you're under 18, you're going to have to join a reading group. You're not going to be able to probably join a proper org yet. That's okay. Baby lungs, I say throwback. That's the real millionaire landlord. The real millionaire landlord all along was baby lungs. Yup. Yikes. Yikesy. Oh my god, yay, Sailor Mal, welcome. I'm going to hang up with you guys here, but come join us over on Twitch if you'd like. We're going to talk about the news today. We're going to talk about current events, and I have some recordings from a Black Panther that we got to see here in LA speak over the weekend. That was really funny and fun. You might like that. Okay, bye. Hey. Oh my god. They're a special kind of stupid right now. They're going off. You know, the liberals forgot about me again, but an election's coming up, so they got to make sure they really get in there. Yeah, crazy. Hey. Hold your questions. We have a special time when we do Q&A. So, hi everybody. Welcome to the stream. We have some updates over the weekend. They don't make books short enough for Burger Egg. So true. First of all, Virgo streamed, and I missed it, but I've been reposting all of the clips. So I'm very happy that Virgo is now streaming. And Virgo, when you are ready, if I don't know your schedule actually, if we're ever in a position where we can raid you at end of stream, that would be delightful. Just let me know. Higgles Big Delections, did you send them as a whisper? One of those things? Is that what they are? Why did it sound like that's okay? Don't worry. Twice is better than not at all. Yeah, Virgo's just started streaming. Yeah, where did you send them, Higgles Big Delections? Here? Oh yeah, send it again. I'll look. Streaming managers are critically care, but your TikTokers telling you're in a cult for not immediately agreeing with their misinformation. I know, it's crazy. They're so dumb. They're so ding dong. First of all, they're bringing back the myth that all the DoorDash drivers actually aren't DoorDash drivers. They're doing that as a ruse to sexually assault middle-class women. Crazy take to have. Just the most insane take to have. Just, oh no. Okay, yay, we got a little hype chain. That's crazy. Gabriel Rockwell article clarified some things for me. Oh, yes. David met some guy. I was talking to him about that he was involved with Gabriel Rockhart. Oh yeah, I've read this actually. Yeah. I've read this piece. It's good. Yes, I do like this. Yes. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, David met some guy who was like affiliated with this Rock Hill thing over the weekend. I do like this piece though. It's pretty good. What else? Yeah, they're bringing back the Treatlerite DoorDash true crime brain rot discourse. Yes, this is why true crime is the devil. These people are so fucking deranged. They are so ding dong. Sailor Mal is a woman who has been the victim of many sex crimes who never wants someone trying to do their job. Thank you. Is a person who has experienced sexual assault. Again, never once was it just some guy trying to work, unless you count a musician. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, Zuko's Madre dealt with these freaks like 2 years ago. Exactly. They're insane. Yeah, just don't use... If you're really sensitive about who's coming to your house, maybe don't invite strangers to come to your house and bring you things. Maybe leave your glass tower and go get your own shit done. Yeah, shockingly, you're telling strangers to come to your house when you use DoorDash. I don't know. Yeah, your burrito doesn't need a taxi. If you want to taxi your burrito, there's a guy who's going to come with it probably, you know, depending on, unless you guys have those little robot things now. I'm like, this is the stupidest non-discourse. The poors want my sexy middle class body is not, I don't know how they're rebranding that as woke, you know? And they just leave it at your door anyway. And I tell people, find me one case of a man ever using a woman's DoorDash profile in order to sexually assault a customer. Or because I can find you many cases of women DoorDash drivers being sexually assaulted by men. Like, the DoorDash driver is the more at risk out of these two people right now. It's just crazy. Yes, remember when everybody thought they were being human trafficked in a parking lot? Yes. And you're like, what does human trafficking look like? It is literally women sewing your clothes in downtown Los Angeles most of the time. This is not, and it's brown immigrant women being forced to do labor. Not you getting kidnapped in a parking lot because you listen to too much true crime. Not that this stuff doesn't happen, but it happens so rarely that it's sensational when it does because it is so rare, you know? Yeah, the doorknob thing, there was like the zip tie thing. I was just like... And here's the thing too. There is very real patterns of sexual violence against women. We know what it looks like. We know what it is. It is domestic violence. I know I said it like domestic violence. It is domestic violence. It is domestic violence. Care about domestic violence. It's a dude you know in your life who's fucking weird to you. That is the pattern of sexual abuse of women. It's some dude who's fucking weird and you know his name and you're like, this guy's fucking weird. And then all everybody around you's like, I think he's nice. See, that's the pattern. Be mad at domestic violence. Not like... And then when that happens, everyone's like, I think you might be overreacting. And you're like, I don't know. This guy seems real fucking weird to me. He's real handsy. He's touching me a lot. You know, whatever. So, yeah. Yeah, we just had a scandal about a dude flashing a woman. Exactly. And then everybody hates her now. Everyone's like, she's the problem. I'm like, you guys want to blame the DoorDash drivers for fucking everything. Justice for the DoorDash drivers of the world. Okay? Justice for the DoorDash drivers. Am I being trafficked? Yes, someone who is not being trafficked. Exactly. It's just crazy. I don't know why they want to live in this shared delusion, this like mass psychosis, anti-reality. Like, come join us in real reality. There's plenty of actual fucked up things happening here. You could just join us here. In case there's any doubt, Mr. Timmons says, do not do domestic violence. Yes, exactly. Thank you. I'm glad you like the cards. Just crazy people doing crazy things. And I'm like, literally, like, I told them this in TikTok chat, but I was like, you are failing an open book test. When was the last time we normalized as a society a mass hysteria that poor brown men wanted to sexually attack like middle class women? We literally did lynch mobs against black teenage boys. We Emmett Tilled. We murdered a child because of this mass hysteria sensation idea that the poor men of color are lusting after the largely white middle class, I just don't understand this. It's like, how do you not fucking remember? It's disgusting. Yes, it's literally the plot of the KKK movie. Yes, Lilith. Yes. Okay, we're gonna do Q&A. You haven't messed anything except for me ranting. I am old man shaking cane at sky right now, Mel May. Yes, the DoorDash discourse gives the same as trans people in the bathroom, the litter boxes. What are we talking about? But they're liberals doing it. It's insane. It's insane. Yeah. Yes, you had a friend get mad at you and say you're ableist for saying everyone acts entitled to underpaying delivery drivers to bring them fast food. Yes, I don't, like, maybe it's because I'm 40, but, disabled people also existed before DoorDash. And while it is true that we should have social services, they provide people food they need in their homes, etc. Cuba has a great example of that functioning, as we've all seen. The solution is not to go on the internet and claim the DoorDash drivers all want to sexually assault you. Like, these two things do not, like, what, they don't hit. They're not, that's not a thing, right? So, yeah. Exactly, Malrish. Yes. As Hello Jamie says, as a middle-aged white woman, I need other middle-aged white women to calm down. As a middle-aged white whatever the fuck. I agree. I think we could all just fucking cool it a little bit on the poor brown servant class wants to hurt us. Yeah, what no theory does to motherfucker. It's crazy. And again, I just want to say, I don't think there's anything wrong with using DoorDash once in a while, right? Like, okay, but you acknowledge it for what it is. You have a servant. Like, pay them well, tip them well, and don't try to get them fired from their already fucking shitty job that they're making less than minimum wage at. Like, it's just crazy. The bare minimum is try not to get them fired from that job. That is literally the bare minimum. Like, I don't understand this. Crazy. Yes, deport liberal white women, unfortunately, did go hard. You just feel like paying $70 for a 20-piece chicken McNugget is worse for your situation as a disabled person. Exactly. Yeah, it is very fucking expensive, right? This is, yeah. The DoorDash thing, C-Wobs, it's like this discourse that pops up time and time again where middle-class women are using DoorDash and then they get really upset. And it's always very racially coded. Like, somebody in my chat was like, I'm sorry, but if I'm expecting Emma to show up at my door with my delivery and it's a big man, I'm gonna feel afraid. And I'm like, Emma? I've never had a DoorDash delivery driver named Emma. You know why? Because that's the name of a white lady. Don't be shy. Throw in what race you think the man is who showed up at your door. Who's not Emma? Who's the opposite of Emma to you? It's just so thinly fucking coded and veiled, right? It's crazy. So they basically want to claim that men are using women's profiles on DoorDash because they have a secret, insatiable desire, working class men, poor men, to sexually assault these women in their nice, stable, middle class homes, which is not the case. DoorDash drivers are more likely to experience sexual violence while on the job, not the way or other way around. And the reason why men often have to use other people's profiles is a lot of times they're undocumented. So, they have to use a family member's ID or profile. Or my partner who does DoorDash in between their job contracts, they design airports, but when they're not on contract and they need extra cash, they have to be a DoorDash driver. They say that because you make less than minimum wage as a DoorDash driver, many people have to have like 3 phones logged into different profiles to be able to pick up multiple orders at the same time and deliver multiple orders just to make ends meet. And a lot of times they'll use their friends and families for that. So it's literally like they're making less than minimum wage or they're undocumented. These are the circumstances that lead people to use other people's profiles. Yeah, Big Gotko says, the DoorDash Uber Eats thing, it's the ruling class way of letting serfs and peasants feel like kings for a moment. So full microdose, exactly. Yeah, so it's the TLDR, and it's crazy. And of course, obviously, here in the United States, we have a huge history of this line of thinking being very, very dangerous for working class people. Literally gets children, teenagers of color murdered because of this mass hysteria that they're all sexual predators. We have a huge history of this idea of the poor working class man of color being hypersexualized and turned into this aggressive sexual demon. Like, it just plays into this whole fucking history we have here. Yeah, it's really vile. It's really fucking vile. By any means necessary, I deliver gross food to suburbanites for a pittance just for a chance to scare an unsuspecting white woman. The perfect crime. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Yeah. Can't relate because you're poor. I know. Like, look, I order grocery delivery. That's something I do because otherwise I forget. And then I just don't have groceries in my house. ADHD text. They're normal. I feel like never once have I been like, this is a crisis in my life. Maybe it's because I have real problems. Maybe that's why. I have real problems. I don't need to be mad at the guy delivering my groceries. Like, I don't understand this. Yeah, Tom says too. The lib artist openly showed the message I sent them. Oh, and they also cropped it out. They didn't show the whole thing. The message said over DM or live, and they were freaking out like it would be childish for you to say talk on live. I didn't. Some people prefer that. People have asked me to do that before. I don't know. You understand the message differently. Yeah, I was just like, do you want to talk? We could DM, we could talk on live, like whatever. We didn't even have to talk in front of like an audience. We could if we wanted, because here's the thing. So many people come and ask you what's happening. If you do a live, you can just be like, here's what happened. There you go. We're done. It's wrapped up. We don't need to keep making 85 videos back and forth. We did the live. We answered everybody's questions. Everybody saw it. It's all wrapped up and done. But she didn't want to do that. Why? Because that's actually a low drama way of resolving the issue. She wanted to make 1 million videos with my name plastered across them and our messages cropped, which she cropped out all the rest of the messages, which is interesting. And make up a bunch of weird lies to sell concert tickets, which she did. So, and that's what sparked this whole, the liberals coming back and remembering me. These people are fucking insane. Yeah. Over the weekend, Smash Ultra, some liberal musician. Crazy. Yep. I was entering my debate bro era. Oh, they don't even know. I'm nowhere near a debate bro era. They don't even fucking know. I told her, she was like, I don't think we have anything to talk about. And I was like, really? Because I have several questions. And I do. I have several questions. And that's the thing. I'm always like, I want to interview you. How the fuck does your brain work? That's what I'm interested in. Yeah, she's just a baby. She's just an innocent baby, 20-something adult human female. She's a baby, though. So how dare I, basically, ask that poor 20-something-year-old adult baby. It's like the meme about my 26-year-old baby child attended a rave outside of Auschwitz. It's like that. A 24-year-old baby. You know what? Melmy is also baby. Okay. Yeah, hypocritical for talking down to me like a child and claiming she can't be held accountable because you're not. Yeah, I know. It's just weird. When you're 19, you stop dogpiling. And here's the thing, too. It's like, if she had just been like, yeah, you know what, I did do that. That was fucked up. I shouldn't have done that. My bad. I would have been like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'll take my video down. Sorry, I was still salty. But no, she's like, yeah, I did that. And also, I'm going to do it again. Fuck you. I was like, shit, see? I was right. You're evil. You're bad and evil. Darvo. She's a fucking bully. She's a psycho. I wouldn't even, and here's the thing. I wouldn't even know her name. I wouldn't know she existed if she hadn't made videos talking about me first. So it's like, what? I wouldn't even know you existed if you hadn't started this fight. It's crazy. The Darvo thing. I know, I fucking can't. Yeah, the musician. Yes. You love Virgo loves to do Darvo on people. New hobby unlocked. Oh, the liberals found me again over the weekend. That's funny. I mean, I did bring this one on like this much. I brought up something from 2 years ago that happened, but not with the person's name. I was just like, this fucking loser. Ugh. And then they decided to out it as being themselves and then made it a whole PR campaign to sell concert tickets for their shitty fucking music. I know. Shockingly, people will lie on the internet. It's crazy. I don't think it's weird to want to talk on live. I told her we could DM also. Whatever. I said whichever. I'm fine with whichever. Yeah. Also, she said you'd bring up North Korea during the conversation. Like, what? Crazy. It is funny. Which part's fun? I think it's funny. I think it's all funny. I think they just called me psychotic on a life. She is psychotic. Yeah, and I'd say it again. That's a crazy person. Or evil. That's what I was like. I have several questions. And my question is always, are you ding dong or evil? There's a spectrum of ding dong to evil. You know? Because at a certain point, you're so ding dong that it almost absolves you of evil because you don't even know what you're doing. You're so ding dong. But at a certain point, you're so evil, it doesn't matter how ding dong you are. It doesn't matter if you didn't know you were doing evil because, like, the evil, it takes. So I think that these people exist on a ding dong to evil spectrum. You know? Yeah. Bolivia. No, I'm interested in talking about Bolivia today. Should we get into it? Let's get into it. You would say you're ding dong leading. Yeah. Ding dong maxing. Yeah. I would say I'm halfway between ding dong and evil. I think I'm a balance of ding dong and evil. Because sometimes I am like, no, I'm upset. And it doesn't matter because I'm upset. And I think I just want to be upset right now. And that can be evil sometimes. But, you know, maybe not. And then a handful of people entered the live being fat phobic. Oh, from my camp to her. That would be bad. That was really, really bad. I hate that too. Where everybody's just like... Because the whole thing is I'm like... We have many loyal plus size customers. That's the whole thing that was crazy. And like the whole thing started from plus size people who were really into flattering discourse being shitty about the bodies of plus size people who don't do flattering discourse. It was actually a very like millennial plus size culture versus Gen Z plus size culture, like attack cross thing. Because for millennials, our body positivity movement was literally like flattering discourse is the devil and it is like oppressive and cruel, which I agree with. I think flattering discourse is fucked up. I think the idea you're supposed to trick the world into thinking your body looks different than it does is bad. I think that's morally and ethically bad. But Gen Z is really into it. They love flattering discourse, you know, so girl being fat phobic to the television models. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's dysphoria discourse. Exactly. So okay, wait, we'll get into Bolivia. Hold on. Let's actually start. Let's actually start for real. Let's do a 10 on the clock. We've done our gossip. We've done our catch up. I do have Black Panther Party videos to show you guys that I would like to. You're a millennial. What's flattering discourse? MEB. It basically is just like if you're plus size, the idea that clothes are supposed to flatter your body. Millennials, we think that's offensive because that implies that there's only one acceptable way for your body to look. And if your body does not look like this hourglass, shape, this totally unrealistic shape, then it's bad in some way and you need to do everything to trick people into thinking that is its shape. So your clothes have to be flattering on you, means it has to trick people into thinking your body's shaped in a way it's not. We reject that, usually millennials. But Gen Z likes that. And they think that if you are not trying to trick people into thinking your body looks like snatched waist Kim Kardashian, big boob, big butt era, then you actually hate fat people because you want them to look like shit. And they don't understand that you just said that fat people look like shit. And some of us don't fucking agree with that. They don't get that. So that's the difference. Weepcore says, I think that where you fall in flattering discourse is not generational. It's more about how much you've processed various forms of hegemony. That actually makes sense. And younger people haven't done as much processing yet. So that's maybe why I perceived it to be that big difference. But I think you're right. I think that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Very, I think that's actually correct. I think that's better. You hate flattering discourse, but you're also damaged from fat phobia that you only wear clothes that hide me. I mean, and I think that's true. Like, I think, look, like, we all have ways we feel about our bodies. And we all carry the weight of, what capitalism has told us. Your body needs to look a certain way. It needs to be changed. Why? Because it's a convenient way to sell you products, right? And we all know that. It's a marketing technique. But you can know that, and it still sometimes fucks with you in your head, And it's, we experience that all in varying degrees and varying understanding, So I don't think there's any shame in admitting that sometimes it gets to us in our heads, even when we think we know better. We can know better, but we can feel it sometimes still, Yeah, just wear what's comfy, Yeah. I like my clothes to look like shit on me. I'm actually aiming for that. I want them to look bad. I want them to look too small or too big at all times. I also think being fat is very punk rock. Like, I love it. I think it's, like, so cool. Like, when you see, like, especially, like, I don't know, like a fat punk rocker alternative person, it's just something about it is like, yeah, fuck everybody, man. You look good. Like, fuck these people. Fuck them. right? It's just always been very inspiring to me. But also, half of my family, they're very, very large people. So, and my dad was a punk rocker. So I always grew up with that being like, yeah, fuck these stupid ass beauty standards. You look good as hell. And it's like in the real world when you're an adult. On the internet, sorry, I'll wrap this up soon, but like on the internet, one of the things that men always try to do to people who present feminine is imply that nobody would ever be attracted to you or love you because of how you look. And it could be you look too old or you're too overweight to them or whatever. You're ugly. Oh, you get the septum ring, you got that hair, whatever the fuck. And it's so crazy because when you're out in the real world, like that's not how people are to each other. Like people are attracted to everything. People are attracted to anything, People have any range of experiences of attraction. You ever see your girlfriends, especially, they're with the most average looking dude on the planet. Why? Because he's funny as hell, and they're super attracted to him because he's funny, not even based on how he looks. So the idea that, somebody who's feminine wouldn't be attractive to somebody, or sexy, or hot, or cool, or whatever, because they're fat, or because they're fat but they don't carry their weight in that hourglass shape, or because they have a septum ring, or because they're, I don't know, over the age of 50, or whatever. It's like, that's all fake. They just make that up to try to make people feel bad about themselves. And I honestly, there's this person I started following on TikTok. I'm obsessed with this person right now. They made this video that went kind of viral, and they were just like, I'm fucking fat, I fucking smell bad, blah, 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 and I don't give a fuck, or something like that. And I was just like, you are awesome. Like, you're so cool to me. It's just, it's cool. It's cool. Okay, so that's my rant about body positivity. Liberals have done their own septum ring theory with Baby Bang Theory. Exactly. It's porn brain as well. It's all of the things, whatever. We know, we know that I think it's actually very, very cool to not fall into the mainstream, very narrow ideas of beauty standards. I think subverting that is very cool. Not only is it cool, it's good for all of us. The people who are just like unashamed, like, yeah, I'm subverting this beauty standards, fuck it. It's inspiring. It's good to see for everybody. It's like, yeah. And some people don't even want to be inspiring. They're just like, I have no choice but to, because this is what I look like. Could we all just be fucking cool about it? And it's like, yes, of course, we could just be fucking normal about this. Yes, Malrish, see? Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. Yeah. All right. So let's get into our actual content for today, not just ranting about body positivity. Body neutrality, more than that. That's the thing I'm always like, who fucking cares what your body shape like? You can spend all your time trying to change it, or you just accept it and just, who fucking cares? Just let's care about other things. So that's what I'm on. So, body neutrality, All right, so I'm going to set 10 on the timer, and we're going to do a Q&A. Then after that, I'm going to show you the Black Panther video, and then we'll get into the news. Body apathy. That's what I'm into. I agree, Virgo. No, you're on to something. You're cooking. Hold on. All right, okay. And start. All right, Q&A. Ask me any questions you have, chat. Let's fucking go. Body apathy. Okay. In the book Invisible Doctrine, it seems vaguely anti-communism. Do you recommend it just a way to help ease liberals against capitalism or other purposes? Yeah. Well, not really to ease liberals against capitalism, but to get them to understand neoliberalism. So I agree. It's not a super communist text. And the thing about my reading list is that it's designed to take you from a liberal to a communist. So you're going to encounter things along the way that aren't explicitly communist, but I think have a good point. I think even the shock doctrine sometimes can get a little like weird for my taste. But yes, I think that for people to actually understand neoliberalism is important, and then we can bring them further on the journey. How was my weekend? I had a very communist weekend. It was delightful. I went to a communist event on Friday, and then I went to somebody's birthday party on Saturday, who is in my org. And then on Sunday, I did door knocking in Altadena, and that was really good. I talked to a lot of people. It went really, really, really well. So I had a very calmy weekend. It was awesome. How do you get your boss to stop asking you stupid questions? You don't, and every single time you have to act like it's a really good question, you've never thought of it before, or they'll fire you. All right. Body negative, Ghost in the Cell says, we do not need bodies. Cyborg era activated. Yes. I agree with third worldist analysis. Labor aristocracy, socialism rising from the imperial periphery instead of the imperial core, etc. I would say I am sympathetic to the third worldist. David, my podcast co-host, is more into third worldist ideology. I would say I understand where it comes from, and I think that some of the critiques pan out with what we've seen. like the ideas of the imperial core not necessarily being what spawned socialism the way Marx had thought, right? I think that stuff is pretty accuracy. I think the labor aristocracy stuff is also accurate. But I do think largely that third worldism as an idea is a reaction against the Cold War. So, let's see. Have we covered what's happening in Bolivia? No, I'm hoping we'll be able to talk about it today. How am I going to be work for Ramsey Robinson wins election? We're not in California. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think, like, I'm really hopeful that Ramsey will win. You guys can help, too, just by posting stuff on social media. Love a communist weekend. Yes, me too. What's your experience in engaging with Western Marxist Frankfurt School people and the like? Because I have not studied Marxism in an academic capacity, I've only been in orgs. I have not encountered that much of anywhere except for David, because David has his doctorate in cultural studies, so he has more exposure to it. And I gotta tell you, David and I are at each other's throats a lot. Like, sometimes we get in arguments, I'm just like, girl. So it really is the difference between academia and praxis. That doesn't mean anybody who goes to any college is gonna come out necessarily more Frankfurt aligned or Western aligned, but I think it is something you see happen a little bit more. And David's good, obviously. David's not totally goofball, but David's just like a pessimist about Marxism in general, because he studies it, right? And not just Marxism. He has his master's in philosophy, his doctorate in cultural studies, and part of his doctorate was about, maybe it was his master's thesis, I can't remember if it was his master's or doctor's thesis, but was about like finance capital in particular, and commodity manufacturing versus finance capital. So it's just some econ stuff in there too. It must have been the doctorate because the cultural studies thing got like missing. But whatever the case, you know, I think that he's really the height of my experience, and we do get invites sometimes, but we agree on more than we don't agree on. You got your mail back. Yay, I got mine too. Yes, we are going to watch the Black Panther video after the Q&A. Yes. I have one queued up. I could easily find the second one, which is like 30 seconds of looking too. Kulaks and the Holodomor. You have a friend arguing they were wrongfully targeted. The Taub article, is it the Mark Taub article, I believe, that I have on my reading list, does talk about the kulaks, I think. Mark B. Tauger. Tauger. I have to type it. Tauger. Yeah, Tauger. That was it. Okay, let me find it. Hi, Faye. Do you want in here? Do you want in here? I gotta find it for you. Hold on. Let me get you this little linky. I keep a note in my phone. I have the most common links I give people for stuff like this. And I have it in here. I just have to find it. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I have to make a tiny URL. God, I'm a victim. A fun thing, actually, that getting canceled on the internet has given me is that I just yell, I'm a victim a lot over minor inconveniences now, because the internet, when they were canceling me, and I was like, you guys know you just made this shit up, right? They're like, oh, you're such a victim. You're always a victim. Victim. And I was like, well, not usually. You guys really are trying, though. But yeah, now I just yell, I'm a victim at mild inconveniences. And that is a fun thing that getting canceled on the internet every month has given me. I like that. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking for questions. Oh, gifted subs. Yay. It's hard not to be sympathetic to third worldism as someone who's anti-imperialist. Sorry, I just saw this and I agree. I'm still scrolling. You guys are in the future. I'm in the past looking for comments. David is trying to keep his plausible deniability while picking up Republican women. Interesting theory. Following London Smash. Following. Eee. Bye, sarcasm. Okay. Permanent Revolution. Yes, there is a text on Permanent Revolution that you can definitely read. It's like the essential text here. Let me find this for you. So this is the text, right, that you can read. about permanent revolution. You can find this on Marxist.org. Here, I think like this chapter has like a good little study on it that you can read. So I'll link you this whole thing about the permanent revolution. It's like a whole, it's a whole, people talk about it. It's gonna be talked about a lot. It's always gonna be used in that term. Sometimes I forget that it's called that. I call it forever revolution. Oh, Zay's on the mic. Sorry, like a grandma who. Zay, no. How loud is it? I can't see what you guys are saying. I'm gonna pretend like it's really quiet and not a big deal. Zay, no. Hey, come here. She was just rubbing up on it. Did you guys get this? I don't know if it's set or not because I got distracted. I want to do it again. I can't see the bottom of the chat. Okay, it's okay. When I'm on Twitch, can we come back to this video about the Black Panther Party? Is that what you mean? I don't know. Is Dave Red Capital? Yes, David's definitely Red Capital. A lot. David's Red Capital a lot. Dave is my podcast co-host. Was that the... Oh, yeah. Childhood friend. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Virgo. Someone got me talking about Euromaidan. Was that the Ukraine 2013-2014 U.S. meddling? Yes. So Euromaidan was the protest movement that ultimately became a coup. I would say the U.S. meddling in Ukraine started way back after World War II, but really picked up steam around the year 2004's election, and especially picked up extra steam around 2010. So we kind of created the conditions for many years that led to Euromaidan. We talked about the billionaires and we talked about Trump visiting China last week. Yes, we did that. My partner is non-binary and their name is Bobby. My LA partner. And my New York partner is also non-binary and their name is Tori. Okay, I got to Zay on the microphone. So you guys will hear, those are my partners. Both of my partners Marxists. So yes, but I would say they're a little more, both of their families are communists is the thing about both of my partners. So both of my partners come from communist families, which means that they're a little like, they associate as being like stuff with their parents more. So my New York partner's family, my New York partner lived on a commune actually, with their family growing up. And I love their family a lot. When I got canceled the first time in 2024 and it was really bad, I was like, I need to talk to them. Because they're like they've been on FBI watch lists and stuff for most of their life. Like they did a Freedom of Information Act request on themselves and it was like a book from like the 70s and 80s and stuff. So they were the ones who actually talked me through it. And they're like, the liberals always do this, man. Like, don't worry. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, Tori, the one that was on the alcohol episode. Yes, that's my partner of like 16 years. So yeah. Oh, that's it. And then my LA partner's grandma's from the Belarus. So he's very into Stalin, and my LA partner trolls me and is like, oh, you sound just like my grandma. You're both obsessed with Stalin like it's Jesus or something. Okay, so that is it. All right. Carr says, I'm considering joining a political party. The Marxist-Leninist pro-LGBTQ, rare for the UK. I think I remember talking about them, in support of AES, but they advocate to vote Labour Party to achieve reforms. Interesting. Does this sound good enough to be worth joining? I think it's worth joining, but just know you disagree, and maybe you'll get the chance to pull them in the right direction there. Okay, yeah, we love Bobby's based Babushka Granny. We love her. So let's get into the video. Should we look at the video I have? Tori's my partner of 16 years. Yes, I do non-monogamy. Yes. So Tori and I were off and on though. Because Tori lives in New York, there'll be times where we fall out. And for a while, my LA partner, my ex and I were doing monogamy for a little bit. So Tori and I weren't dating, but we started, going again. Okay, let me find this video. It's 9 minutes long, and it's really bad quality because my screen was greasy because it's me. And while it's playing, I'm going to try to find another video I have of this guy talking from something else. Yes. So we'll watch this for 9 minutes. This is why I also tell you guys to join orgs, because like when you're online, people say the craziest shit that's not real. And then you go out in real life and you're like, oh yeah, those people are just idiots on the internet saying shit. So, and this is, when the internet's trying to cancel you for not pronouncing Kamala Harris's name right and says you're a racist, sometimes you just need to go see a Black Panther refer to her as Condoleezza Rice because he can't pronounce her name and he doesn't know the difference between them anyway to set you straight. That's all I'm saying, okay? So let's get this cued and going. And again, I'm really sorry for the light. So the event that this was at was an Artists Against Apartheid event. And that's not an explicitly communist event, but lots of communists are involved in Artists Against Apartheid. It's a pro-Palestinian artist movement. So that is what we were at this event. And he's a Black Panther and he was there. And so this is an art-oriented speech. So he's really talking about the role art plays in the revolution. And he's talking about jazz and how important that was for him. So that's what's going to go on over here. And I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to look for the old video of him so we can find another video of him talking about too.
Enlightened at a young age, he played trombone, I played tenor saxophone. So we began to study and practice in school. When I got involved in the movement, I was about 16 years old. I was a member of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Well, my discipline fell off, right? John Coltrane, one of my heroes, he practiced like 15 hours a day, right? And I couldn't do that anymore, all right? And anyway, John Coltrane, many don't know that John Coltrane was very political. You know about the 4 little black girls that were bombed in Alabama? He wrote a song for them. It's called Alabama. Anybody ever heard of Archie Shepp? Revolutionary to the core, tenor saxophone player. He's still alive. Sam told me he's still alive. He's about close to 90 years old. He wrote a lot of revolutionary black liberation songs. He wrote a song called George Jackson. Anybody know who George Jackson is? That's my hero. Him and his brother, right? And then Charlie Hayden. Charlie Hayden was a bass player. No, Charlie Hayden played bass and saxophone. Charlie Hayden was in Portugal during the liberation struggles in Africa, in Mozambique, Guinea-Bissau, and Angola. He spoke out at a concert in Portugal, right? Portugal were the colonizers of the countries I just mentioned. And he spoke out against them. So they put him in jail. He was a political prisoner in Portugal for a while, I think about a year. And then they let him go. You have a lot, you ever heard of Gil Scott-Heron? Mm-hmm. He was a singer, revolutionary. The revolution will not be televised. So you had a lot of, especially in the early 60s, 70s, you had a lot of musicians that were liberation fighters and they would bring the word, right? So art should be a language that educates and organizes the people. And not just cultural music, I'm talking about capitalism is the enemy of the sun. Anybody ever heard the poem that the enemy of the sun, Palestinian comrade wrote? He wrote that to George Jackson. He sent that to George Jackson when he was in prison. And we got to use every opportunity we can to educate the people. Now, I go through it with, I'm still out here organizing, by the way. I mean, with Black August Farm Center. I work with PSL. And, by the way, PSL helped form a large coalition called the Coalition to Free Rochelle McGee, right? Yeah! We got him out after 67 years, but we got him out in, that was July of 2023. He left this world in, that was October 2023. some of the comrades from PSL, we didn't tell folks where Rochelle was being protected because we didn't want people to know where he was for a while, right? What we found out about Rochelle McGee, after 67 years in a cage, most of us solitary confinement, that man was funny. That man had Cameron and Javier and Leon and he had us going. And I was amazed, not just his humor, but he was still pushing revolution after all those years. So yeah, art is definitely the great tool. Anybody heard about the incident that happened with Netflix? No. This comedian got up and he attacked George Floyd in a roast, right? He's looking down, and I'm paraphrasing, he's looking down at us, looking down like he's in hell or something, right? And he called him that word, although he used that fancy type of way of saying the so-called N-word, right? So, what did Netflix do? Nothing. What did, what's the comedian's name? Kevin Hart. What did he do? He hasn't even given a lame apology. Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry. You know, so. But, yeah, the revolution continues. We still have political prisoners after all these years. And we need to continue this struggle. Capitalism is the enemy. I got in a discussion with a woman the other day, and she supports Condoleezza. I mean, what is her name? Camilla. And she got on me and she said I was a male chauvinist already. Asked my 4 daughters, I call my 4 daughters my unappointed security team. Asked them am I a male chauvinist. But anyway, she supports this genocide funder, Condoleezza Rice, and her friend, Biden, just like Mr. Goofball, Trump, killing babies. Everybody knows that Gaza, the population, tell me if I'm wrong, the population is half the population is under 18 years old. And as of today, I think 37,000 children and women have been killed. A total of 79,000 people have been killed with American bombs by Zionists. They had that clown, I don't really watch the news, they had the clown, the president or whatever the action Israel. Say his name. Yahoo. Yeah. And he was on, I saw it on YouTube, I don't really watch the news. And this guy was like, he wasn't even trying to avoid any guilt. You know, you saw it, right? You saw the interview. He wasn't even trying to avoid the guilt, right? So the struggle continues. Long live the fighting spirit of all those who are fighting back and fighting against capitalism, imperialism, and neo-colonialism. Well, the Nigerians say, yeah, I love the African people, but don't tell me about a neo-colonialist country, right? Not you, per se. But man, again, it's good to see young comrades continuing the struggle, and long live the fighting spirits of the Palestinians and all those people. One more thing, Dad, don't get up and talk too long today. One more thing, I don't call this place America, I call it New Europe. Okay? There's no such thing as immigrants who were here before anybody, right? And genocide was carried out on them. There was a poll done in the early 1900s. There were only maybe 170,000 indigenous people left in this part of New Europe. And in addition to slavery. So I don't call this Mr. Trump. Right on, as Bunchy Carter used to say, right on. Enlightened at a young age.
Okay, so he's just funny. I have some other stuff from him. I'm gonna see if my iCloud link worked because it was like older. His name's Harry Walton, and he comes out to a lot of our events and talks. And he's very cool. He is very funny. Obviously he's hilarious. And it's just interesting getting to hear, just an old head rap about stuff, right? So I have these other videos from September of last year. I was at an event that he was at as well. But I'm trying to download them on my phone, and my phone is like, trying to do it. So we'll see if they download. I wonder if they're like, hold on. I tried to do an iCloud link, but it wouldn't work. Hold, please. Technical difficulties. I put them in a little collection. Maybe I can send them one at a time, and it'll be better. He spoke for a while, and I didn't record the whole thing because this was like older, and it didn't occur to me to do it basically. But this was at their Ramsey launch event as well. Red strike. Oh no. All right, here we go. Here's one of them. This is a 7-minute long recording from the same guy. I hope it's okay that we're doing this. It just kind of occurred to me. I'm like, if you guys can't be here in California, I'll show you what's going on in California. Yeah, we're still going to do the news today. Yeah.
I was also a part of the Black Student Union at various institutions, East LA College. Matter of fact, my comrade Donald Crump, rest in power, we were playing basketball one day at a park called Remember. And he said, well, you're not in SNCC anymore now. When SNCC took the position and supported Palestinians, the money dried up. He said, well, come to East LA College, man. We got the Black Student Union there. We got the Villanueva. Come to East LA College. I said, okay. I only went for one reason, and that was for...
I just want everybody to catch what he said. So when liberals are trying to tell you that our struggles aren't connected, right? Do you guys remember when liberals during the election were trying to say, like, why are we supporting Palestine? Especially black liberals were saying, why are we supporting Palestine? You listen to what he said. He said, when we took the position that we were going to stand with Palestine, this is back in the 1960s, right? 1970s, 1960s. He was saying all of a sudden the money dried up. They weren't able to get support from black liberals, and the school wasn't supporting them as much, so they had to look for other places to organize. So Black Panthers have been standing on business. They've been supporting Palestine. They've been working with the DPRK. The DPRK has been supporting Palestine. So it was so interesting to come just from this real world experience of Marxism, where you see, of course we stand with Palestine. Of course the Black Panther Party worked with Palestine, and both of them worked with the DPRK, and we stand with all of these people. And then you have liberals screaming at you on the internet that the Black Panthers would tell you to vote Democrat, that Palestine, you're making it a single issue. Why are you focusing so much on that? Or that the DPRK is a big evil dictatorship, whatever. All of this stuff is one issue. And the people in our movement know this. We know this, right? We know this. Pan-African nationalism includes Palestinian liberation. Yeah, all of these issues, they coincide. So don't let the liberals on the internet are awful loud and awful wrong. And the thing is, it's easy to get offended when they're telling us our history is socialist, is communist, and they're telling it to us wrong. And it's easy to get so mad. It's so easy for me to get so mad when people are like, Angela Davis was in the Black Panther Party. And I'm like, I've fucking been in a room with this chick before. What are you talking about? This is crazy. And you can feel like you're losing your mind, but you just have to remember the propaganda works so hard. And one of the things they try to do propaganda-wise is they try to neuter our history. They try to neuter our movement. They don't want you to know the Black Panthers unequivocally stood with Palestinian liberation. Why? Because it's a problem when they're trying to promote liberalism to Black Americans, and Black Americans obviously, fall for it because they're looking for a stable and good future that they're entitled to and that they deserve. And like, I understand, but you know, it's a lie. It's a myth. Like the revolutionaries, the black liberation revolutionaries of the past, or the communist liberation revolutionaries of the past, they're the same, and they're the same for a reason, because all these issues are connected. Yes. So, okay.
Socialism, and to be active in the struggle there. We had a struggle there for black and brown studies. We had a struggle there for black and brown newspapers, and we won. So, college was not, I wanted to enroll in college to get an education. No, I wanted to be with a comrade named Melvin X, who led that struggle. Rest in power. He was assassinated in June of 1970. Again, I was a part of SNCC. During my organizing with SNCC, I had the opportunity to organize with the Peace and Freedom Party. Now, this is 1968. My brothers, comrades, sandbox comrades, and I, we were kids. We had to have our parents, well, my mom's signature to become a member of SNCC. And she, man, bless my mother, she did it. And so we had that opportunity to work with Peace and Freedom Party. And also, when I was a member of the Black Panther Party, we had an opportunity to work with Peace and Freedom Party. Concerning these two parties, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., the son of Fred Hampton, we were talking one time, and we were talking about the different parties, and he said, the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats is the difference between 6 and a half a dozen. There is no difference. I've been a socialist since I was 16 years old. I always knew that there was something wrong with this system. Growing up in the projects wasn't any fun. I remember when I was maybe 11, my mother used to make us what was called cream of wheat. If you're old enough to remember cream of wheat, I used to have my cream of wheat. You ever cut something in fourths? I would cut the cream of wheat in a bowl in fourths to make me think that I was eating a lot of food. One day my mother said, "What are you doing?" "Mom, I want to make it seem like we have a lot of food to eat." Even she laughed. But, so, the Black liberation struggle, I had influences like Ohio's Malik Al-Shabazz, Malcolm X, Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael, Jamil Al-Amin, H. Rap Brown. They really inspired my sandbox comrades and I. And we saw, you've heard of Al Prentice Bunchy Carter, the founder of the Southern California chapter of the Black Panther Party. Some type of way, we were walking down the streets on Central and 79th and we ran into Bunchy. We didn't know who he was. And we went in the office and we saw these pictures, right, of H. Rap Brown then and Stokely Carmichael. And he started talking about the Black Panther Party program. So I said, sir, young man, sir, can you get us in SNCC? He started laughing, not in a way that he saw us as being silly. I said, sure. I'm gonna hook you up with a person, he don't like us to call him Crook anymore, Ron Wilson. And we said, hey. And so we hooked up with Ron and we became a member of the Student Nonviolent, then later the Student National Coordinating Committee. We were exposed to a lot of different revolutionary struggles throughout the world. The struggle in the Congo, the struggle in so-called South Africa, the struggle in Puerto Rico, definitely the struggle in Cuba. Fidel became my sandbox and he became my hero. Che became my hero. We were too young to grow beards, but we tried our best to look like Fidel and Che. Now, we have to vote for Governor Ramsey. We have to vote for him. We don't need any more 6s and a half a dozen. The 6s and a half a dozen I call this governor of California, I call him Elvis Presley. He looks like he wants to be Elvis Presley. The largest concentration camp in this country is California. My grandson is one of the people in prison for some nickel and dime Clinton, Biden law, street crime, right? Had he been born during my lifetime, he would have been out 7 years ago. He's been in for going on 10 years because of the so-called strikes, right? And again, that's Bill Clinton. The African men in this country are 7%, in this state are 7% of the population, and almost 34 to 35% of the prison population in California.
And again, just to point out, like, somebody was like, oh yeah, not saying the names of our enemies is a flex. So when he's calling Kamala Harris Condoleezza Rice, this is what he does. He's like, oh, we don't, Gavin Newsom, you mean Elvis Presley? Like, oh, Donald Trump doesn't, you know, be that goofball, like the clown? And it's so true. So this is what he does. He's like, these aren't real people, right? These are cartoon characters. These are celebrities. And he's always pointing out the Democrats as well. And this is why, too, you can see it's so insulting for somebody to say, oh, the Black Panthers would tell you to vote Democrat. And you're like, I've been in a room with the Black Panthers. They fucking hate the Democrats. Are you joking right now? This is why it's insulting when certain people get on the internet and try to claim that the Black Panther Party was not an explicitly Marxist-Leninist party. They're literally telling you that they were inspired by Fidel Castro and Che Guevara. Like, what do you mean they weren't explicitly Marxist-Leninists? There's another part I didn't record where he was talking about Mao and how reading Mao was so important to them, and reading Marx and reading Lenin. But yeah, so just for everybody, I want you to, like, really, because you don't get this experience to hear it firsthand, I want you to really know and feel confident in your position as a Marxist-Leninist and our tradition and our shared history, that you're on the right side of history, right? So there's just a few minutes, like a minute left, and then we'll be done.
We don't need this governor, we need family. We don't need a governor that gets up. Parades around like he's the second coming of Elvis Presley. I worked with PSL on Coalition of Free Rochelle McGee. We had to operate a certain way, right, comrades that were in the organization? We had meetings with his staff, you know, and man, because Rochelle was in his 67th year in prison, some of the things that his staff was telling us, I want to say, F you, I don't curse. In fact, I went to jail when I was going to East LA College for cursing at a speech I gave. But I was like, man, this clown, his staff, F all of you. But
okay, so that's it. I just wanted to show you a little bit of that. I just thought it'd be interesting to share with you. So yeah, with that in mind, it's 10:51 a.m. I think we should get into the news. A little, throw it in there. So okay, I'm gonna do the countdown in a second. Everybody collect your links for what we're going to talk about with the news today. I'm going to pull up a news article about Bolivia. So if that was yours, feel free to share it if you want, but it'll just go into mine as well. I'm very interested in that. And when everybody's ready, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Links. Drop the links. Drop the nukes. Okay, top coming in. We have Eurovision, Bolivia. Thank you. More Bolivia for me. I love it. I mean, I don't love it, but you know, I love knowing. I love knowing things. We love knowledge. Oh, oil. This is an oil interesting, tiniest boop. Okay. And AJ Plus about Bolivia, that's a good introduction. Okay, Hegel's Big Dialecticals, can you hold off if it wins, and then I'm going to ask you for that link again? Can you, like, copy it on your clipboard maybe or something? The Onion, wait, Big Got Co. I'm gonna need to watch that. Okay, so we have 1, 2. We have Bolivia. We have oil pipeline. Alberta premiere. Oh god. Okay. We have President Cass approval rating. Do you have, for the person who did the President Cass approval rating, do you have a written and not a video? Because when I do videos, it makes YouTube mad sometimes. And I can usually fix it, but it takes more work and I don't do it fast enough. So if anybody has just that. Available not in video form. Okay, 1, 2, 3. In Cuba, that's going to be our 5th. Eurovision will never win this poll. It would need to be archived. Okay, got it. Thank you. Yes, we have updates about Cuba. I found the president cast as a written article. Okay, we got it. We got all 5. Okay, is Virgo available and ready to do poll? Otherwise, I can do it. Now that Virgo is also streamer, I'm very excited. I want you all to be streamers, actually. That's my goal, is for us to just have a big streaming community. I can't get this Eurovision Arras one. Yes, I'll show them in just a sec. Yes. Yeah, I think Virgo's not in at the moment. So let me just 1 second. I'll get the poll going. Yes, Big Gotco stream. Yeah, endless stream. We can all take a time slot through the day. And if we coordinate it correctly, we can have all day Marxist-Leninist entertainment going on. It'd be so cool. We could have a schedule. You know what I mean? Oh, playing Balatro. Oops. Don't ever apologize for playing Balatro. I can run the poll. I'm a big adult now. It's okay. Do you want to do it, Virgo, or do you want me to? It's up to you. And then I have this Onion article for us to look at it. You can? Okay, yay. All right. So let me show you guys the options. That's not the Onion article. Bolivia news. We got the Bolivia strikes. This is the one I'm most interested in. We have 14 pro-Palestinian protesters arrested before the Eurovision final. So Eurovision. We have Alberta oil pipeline and Jesus. We have Cuba updates. Fully out of power, I guess. And then we have Cass. This is Chile, right? This guy's Chile, if I remember correctly. Chile. Yes, Chile. I know Latin America. I know the president of Chile's name. Very pathetic. American. The bar is on the floor. These are the ones. These are the ones. Get a face tattoo? Yeah. I agree. Okay. So, Virgo's going to get the poll ready. And we're going to get this big, I think it was a big Gotcos of it. Timeline of China-Taiwan relations. Okay. This is going to be really, really good. While poll is getting ready. You cancel the poll 1 second. Do you want me to redo it? I can reread it. Virgo. Please, that's totally fine. No, thank you. Why are you apologizing? Okay, Bolivia, number 1. Then we have Eurovision, number 2. Then we have Oil, Jesus, and Alberta. That's interesting. We have Cuba, updates. And then we have Chile, destruction. That's what we got. Timeline of China relations. And while Virgo gets that ready, chat, we will look at the Onion's timeline of China-Taiwan relations. 8000 BC, Taiwan decides it needs a little space and disconnects from the Chinese mainland. 1662, violent clash over who has to talk to the Dutch. 1887, the Qing dynasty cashes in 5 resource cards to upgrade Taiwan from a prefecture to a province. 1979, America wades into the conflict, ensuring it'll last way longer than it needs to. 2003, after Ang Lee... Oh, they missed some stuff in here. Some stuff happened between 1887 and 1979. You guys know the rules. Vote or gulag. It's at the top of your chat. Hit refresh if you need. If it's not showing up. Why did they just skip everything between 1887 and 1979? Okay. You know what? The Onion can't be explicitly communist, so I forgive them. I know what to expect from them. Historic agreement to jointly disavow any connection with the director of Ang Lee's Hulk. China launches a series of short-range ballistic fruit baskets off the coast of Taiwan in a sign of increasing goodwill. A sixth grader in Bismarck, North Dakota mislabels Taiwan in geography worksheet, leading to a brief diplomatic crisis. The UN officially recognizes Legoland Taiwan, provoking Chinese reprisals. Trump posts an AI image of himself as a Chinese man, holding hands with himself as a Taiwanese man. 2027 look, just enjoy these last few months of blissful ignorance, okay? Great. I love it. I love it. I love it. We love to see it. Are you guys voting? I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote. Boop, boop, boop. Very fascinating. Okay, fun video about, yes, Mel May. Thank you for sharing again. We're going to watch Mel May's vid. Mel May is making TikToks, so we must support. Why did it open New York Times again and not Mel May's video, though? Why is OBS trying to censor you? It's crashing. Oh my god, my OBS is crashing. What's going on? Ah! I didn't know this was an option. I don't know if you guys can hear me or see me. I have to go onto Twitch on my phone to see if you guys can hear me or see me. Oop. I'm seeing myself see you. You can. Okay, you can. Okay, I can see you chatting on here. And I can still... Oh, but I can't show the articles! Fuck. I'm going to have to refresh it. Okay, chat. I'm going to wait for the poll to end. And then I'm going to refresh it. I'm going to have to close and reopen, I think, the stream. Because my OBS is frozen. This has never happened before. I just have spinning wheel of death on OBS. It's wild. You want to make videos about communism? My experience has scared you? Yeah. It's pretty bad. They really hate communists, but they know they can't say they hate communists, so they'll just, invent other reasons to pretend hate you. It's crazy, honestly. And they're insane about it. It's really wild. Oop, oop, oop. Yeah, I can't even show Mommy's video. It's not Mommy's fault, though. Okay. Okay. It looks like Bolivia's going to win the poll, though. So that's good news. Ugh. I'm so annoyed with OBS today. Since the update, really. Since the update, it's been really annoying. Someone explain oil Jesus to you like you're 5. Well, the oil pipeline aligns with teachings of Jesus. Jesus wants you to build an oil pipeline. That was in the Bible. So if you don't remember that, Haley, from the Bible, I think that maybe you're not getting into heaven. If you don't want to build an oil pipeline in Canada, you are definitely not getting into heaven. That's true. That's just a fact. That was in the Bible. Right? Oh, everything isn't as not. You used to do commie TikToks. We were mutuals back then, but the aggressive opposition scared the heck out of you. Doxing, contacting your teenage son. It's a wild. Yeah, no, it's really insane. It's really insane. Supply side Jesus does support this wave oil malware. She's correct. But no, it is wild. You do get, and again, they know they can't hate you for being a communist because they were just calling themselves leftists 13 months ago. So they will make up all sorts of other shit. And it's always the most baseline Marxist-Leninist bullshit on the planet, right? And there's so many of them. This is the thing I was thinking about, too. Think about how many... Okay, Bolivia won. Yay. Okay. Think about how many people are Democrats and Republicans. And, most of us are neither. But they still have numbers. They still have numbers, right? In the United States, anywhere where I live. Okay, so my OBS is stuck, so if I want to be able to show you guys articles, I'm going to have to kill it and come back, unfortunately. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to crash this, and then I'll see you guys back here in about 30 seconds, and we'll get into the articles today, okay? We'll be talking about Bolivia, so don't leave. Don't leave. Only fake leave. Okay, it's crashing now. I'm manually crashing it now. Okay, are you guys still here? Can you hear? Can you see? I'm back. Fork, real mad. Yes. Hello. It worked. Ha 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 ha. That Fork's real pissed. Let me go give that thing a treat really fast. I'll be right back. Best friend just came home. Car in driveway. She's real mad. Real mad. Okay. So, Bolivia has won. I, for one, am very excited for us to talk about Bolivia. I saw this going on over the weekend and I was like, what's happening? So I have 3 articles here going on that we can take a look at. So, let's get into the news. Yay. All right. Bolivia shut down by national strike demanding president resigns. A capitalist leader took over from socialists 6 months ago, and it is not going well. Wow. It's like an uncoup. They're trying to uncoup. Widespread roadblocks and protests have brought Bolivia's major cities to a standstill this week as the country continues its indefinite national strike against stagnating wages, austerity, and privatization. Footage posted on social media shows demonstrators marching down highways with empty cars and tents littering the side of the road. Sounds like LA. Clashes erupted in La Paz on Thursday when police fired tear gas at miners who had set off a small stick of dynamite and were attempting to breach the presidential palace. Hey, you can't do that to them. They're just miners, but they're a miner. Did that land at all? Is there something in there? Miner with an E, miner with an O. Leave the miners alone. Is that something? I feel like that could be something. They're just miners. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, we'll see. Maybe it'll play out. Maybe somebody will workshop it. The strike called on Tuesday by Bolivia's largest labor union federation has seen teachers, farmers, and indigenous representatives calling for the resignation of right-wing President Rodrigo Paz Pereira. For more than 2 decades, Bolivia was ruled by Movement Towards Socialism, MAS, initially under that's a pretty good name. Initially under the country's first indigenous president, Evo Morales. MAS significantly reduced poverty, protecting indigenous rights, and nationalizing the country's natural gas profits. But in recent years, an economic crisis in the country and power struggles within the party destroyed MAS's popularity. Paz came to power in November 2025, promising capitalism for all, but his neoliberal reforms have rapidly tipped the South American country into mass protests. Soaring inflation, low wages, and the end of decades-long fuel subsidies have hit living costs, where there's also been widespread opposition to the government's package of economic reforms. Now, protesters are calling for the resignation of the new government unless a 20% wage increase is approved and austerity measures are ended. One of the most contested parts of Paz's new agenda is the Law 1720, which aims to modernize Bolivia's agrarian sector by allowing farmers to merge their small holdings into medium-sized businesses. Many fear the law merely paves the way for a takeover of indigenous territories by corporate agribusiness. It does. Peasant union leader Oscar Cardoza told a public meeting, "Our life is collective, not individual. The land must be respected. It's not for sale." Okay, we love to see it because, again, here in the West, what do we hear? Here in the global North, what do we hear? They hate communism. They would be so happy with capitalism. This is exactly what would fucking happen in Cuba if we got our way. There would be mass protests in the street. They would be shutting us down, right, immediately, the American capitalist class. Yeah, this is what happens when you take socialism from people, right? Let's see if there's anything on breakthrough news. They're going to be video, though. Let's see about liberation news. Let's see if FRSO has a statement. Bolivia. No, do not send me updates. Where is their freaking analysis? Militant journalism. I want to just do a search. There we go. I wonder if there's anything. No. Yes. 2022. Oh, there's a Fresno demonstration. Fresno, California, solidarity with the Bolivian people struggle against the Bolivian coup leader. We should probably read this for context in 2021. This is interesting. All right. We need more. We need current. We need what's happening right now. 2024 is the most recent thing that FRSO has. Okay. Let's see if there's anything more. Concerns over Bolivia unrest. What's behind Bolivia's widening protests? The U.S. is obviously backing Paz's government. Big surprise. It's going down in Bolivia. Fresno based. Fresno is based. I keep telling you guys Fresno is based, okay? Fresno will lead the revolution. I'm telling you. There is a lot of bigotry. Fresno has been the victim of an epic smear campaign against it. There is anti-Fresno Hasbara happening in the world as we speak. Stay alert, comrades. Learn how to spot anti-Fresno language whenever you see it, Big Gotco. Just saying. Those who walk amongst us are secretly Fresno Intel. They're doing Co-Intel Pro, but for Fresno, they're Fresno Intel Pro. That's what's happening. So, just putting that out there. All right. We've got Bolivia detains 57 demonstrators amid anti-government protests about economic crisis. Okay. Love this, actually. I love how this is worded. First of all, you can see they're trying to just economic crisis. It's just they just have an economy problem generally. Oh, no. God forbid we name it what it is. They hate capitalism. Capitalism doesn't work and they hate it. That's what's actually going on. They're like, fuck this. So this is not just economic concerns. Si se Fresno, that's right. Bolivian authorities said Saturday that 57 people were detained during clashes between anti-government protesters and security forces amid growing unrest about the country's economic difficulties. Media reports said minors, indigenous groups, teachers, students, and workers gathered around the administrative capital of La Paz, setting up roadblocks and confronting police. 3 people died after blockades prevented access to hospitals, while 57 individuals involved in violent disturbances were taken into custody, according to the government. Security forces used tear gas to disperse demonstrators who responded with stones and Molotov cocktails during confrontations. Government spokesperson Jose Luis Galvez said a joint force of 3,500 police officers and military personnel launched a large-scale operation to remove the barricades. Galvez said the operation was to restore the transport of food, medical supplies, and oxygen deliveries to hospitals, adding that security operations were ongoing. Meanwhile, Paraguay, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, Costa Rica, Panama, and Honduras issued a statement expressing concern about the situation in Bolivia. What kind of concern? Is it a joint statement? What is this statement? We gotta look into that. That might affect our camp maps. Miners, labor unions, and social organizations have been protesting fuel shortages, high inflation, a lack of U.S. dollars, and worsening economic conditions by the country for weeks. No mention. It's because they hate capitalism. Okay. Explosions heard as mining groups staged anti-government protests in Bolivia. I'm very curious how they're going to spin this. It's like, They're domestic terrorists fighting the very, very good capitalist government. There's general unrest that we won't explain in too much detail. There's a history of socialism there, and we are going to use that to try to vaguely suggest to the untrained ear, maybe it's socialism they're mad at. This could go any one of these three ways, right? They're not going to report it as it is, though. Demonstrators, led by mining groups and rural unions, have clashed with law enforcement in Bolivia as tensions simmer over the country's economic crisis, the worst in decades. Now remember, these protesters are socialists. Are they saying that? Are they saying the socialist people are rebelling against the capitalist government? Let's see. We definitely need to read the statement. Yes. On Thursday, small explosions were heard in the midst of the protest in La Paz, credited to miners setting off small sticks of dynamite. Some protesters were reported as attempting to breach the presidential palace. Yeah, uncoup. Get him out of there. I am not legally encouraging the residents of Bolivia to coup their president. Just want to make that for legal purposes. I am not saying coup your capitalist president, comma Bolivia. I would never say that. Master-servant dialectic everywhere. Oh, wait, where did you guys do the Hegel workshop? Where was it? Was it video? Was it on your stream? Can I watch it? Is it a VOD? This is servant overthrowing the master. Yep, it is. It is. Yes. Forced? Y'all liked it. I would have liked it. I would have loved it. Because I hate reading Hegel, actually. David and I fight about it a lot. So I love people talking about Hegel. Because I'm always like, boring. Nothing explodes in this. That's me. If it doesn't have the Con Air kind of level of cinematic enthusiasm. Okay, Virgo stream. Okay, I'm going to go watch some VODs. Send the vids. Yes, send me everything. Send me everything. Yeah, I am saying VOD. Oh my god. Am I becoming a Twitch streamer? There's a small section of USAID history in Bolivia that we could review. Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you, Autistic Baddie 3. That's from the PSL Comrades. All right, cool. All right, so Bolivians have experienced long lines for fuel and hospital, reported a lack of basic supplies like oxygen and medication. This is soaring inflation, supply shortages, high prices, from what they're calling the collapse of the natural gas industry. But really, we know it's the privatization of the natural gas industry, right? They say center-right leader Rodrigo Paz, he's a capitalist, was elected in October last year in part on a promise to address the economic tailspin. His victory marked a political sea change in Bolivia. For much of the past 2 decades, except for a brief period in 2019, the country has been governed by MAS, movement towards socialism. The decline of MAS has been credited in part to the uproar over the economy, but on Thursday, Paz likewise faced calls from protesters for his resignation, just as his MAS predecessor, Luis Arce, had. Earlier in the day, a group of 20 miners were invited the presidential palace to meet with Paz and discuss their demands, according to the Reuters news agency. The government said they were open to dialogue. They said the president's not going to resign. He's trying to blame Evo Morales. Morales posted multiple times on Thursday about the protests, accusing the government of using him as a scapegoat. I agree. Morales wrote, let's see if we can read it ourselves. Oh, I haven't been on Twitter. I need to get back on. The Bolivian government, I'll follow. The Bolivian government and right wing have been repeating for some time that I'm a political corpse and I have no capacity to mobilize anyone. Yet they keep blaming me for all the country's problems. He's Schrodinger's leftist. They're giving him the Schrodinger's leftist treatment. He simultaneously is politically worthless, but now is responsible for mass protests and an uncoup attempt. He's in the box. The leftists are in the shit. All the leftists are in the box. We are simultaneously alive and dead. The liberals control the box. I think that's how it goes, yeah. They believe that the thousands of Bolivians who are protesting in the streets and roads obey a single person. The box of friends. We're in the box holding hands as friends. The outrage are driven by their social conscience and their anger against the government that, from the very first day, betrayed its voters and the homeland. Bolivia is experiencing a rebellion by the people that has surpassed even its own leaders. Insulting, accusing without evidence, detaining, imprisoning, criminalizing, repressing, killing leaders. None of this will resolve the crisis. As long as the structural demands such as fuel, food, and inflation are not addressed, this uprising will not be halted. Yeah, it's almost like your material conditions are the driving force here. Right. Okay, save the links. First Hegel video, 7 minutes. Thank you. Hold, please. I'm putting it on my to-do list. Hold. Adding it to my to-do list. You can't see my to-do list. It's embarrassing. There's too much weird stuff on here. All right, there it is. Okay. Yay. The box is covered in glitter and hammers and sickles. Yes. Okay, so we got that going on. Now we've got kind of this history demonstration in Fresno, California. Just saying. Latin American nations amp up their concerns over Bolivia unrest. No, Bloomberg. Fuck you. I think I remember Bloomberg. You actually can't see anything, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm confusing all the rich guy media. The bourgeois media. I'm confusing the bourgeois media with one another. Did I? Last week? No, you can't look at this week, though. It's going to get worse somehow. I don't know. I don't know if that's true, actually. I don't think it's actually that bad. Okay. So, this is more about the statement. Latin American nations are expressing growing concerns over shortages of crucial goods in Bolivia as unrest grips the country and poses a challenge to President Rodrigo Paz. Learned about this. Material conditions bad. People angry. They liked socialism better than this. The protests are carried out in part by members of the Confederación Sindical. Oh, they're syndicalists. Yeah, Única de Trabajadores Campesinos, which is comprised of highland farmers, the National Labor Union, coca growers from Chapare province, and followers of former President Evo Morales. Are they syndicalists? Interesting. Or is that just like a translation thing? Maybe they are. This interests me. Oops, sorry, Zay. I typed too aggressively, and Zay got mad. I need a Bolivian comrade. I need help. I need a Bolivian comrade. Okay, well, yeah, we'll table that. We'll ask around. All right. I need an orientation from Bolivian comrades, so keep that in mind. Yeah, just a Gilder union. It's not like, okay, got it. All right, thank you. Probably, maybe. All right, what is behind Bolivia's widening protests? Main grievances, economic issues, as we have seen. It's almost like Marx talked about this. Now they're trying to say Paz inherited an economy in turmoil, has defended spending cuts and fuel subsidy reductions as necessary to stabilize public finances. We always know austerity measures do not work. Also, again, people aren't really talking about the 57 protesters who've been arrested. If this was the opposite way around, we would be hearing about these 57 people nonstop. We would be hearing that the harsh, evil dictator of Bolivia cracked down on free speech and arrested 570 people. They'd just be adding zeros to this shit, right? They would be fucking milking this. We would hear 1,000 people had been murdered by the dictator of Bolivia. Free speech. Exactly, Manticore. Very, very interesting. So Morales, they're saying back to the protests, saying their response to economic hardship and political persecution. Yeah, you surprised they wouldn't say pull in Iran and say 57,000 were killed. Well, they can't this time because this is the capitalist government cracking down on those filthy commies. So they want to minimize that. They're just like, 57 people were arrested. You know, it's not big. That's normal. It's not a big deal. Every time you click the article, you add another zero. You refresh, it adds a zero. Oh, yup. Okay, so obviously the United States is supporting the capitalist government. In Bolivia, the Bureau of Western Hemisphere Affairs says riots and blockades have created a humanitarian crisis causing shortages of medicine, fuel, and food. We condemn all actions aimed at destabilizing the democratically elected government of Rodrigo Paz. It's always democratically elected when the capitalists win, isn't it? And when the socialists or the communists win, it's a stolen election. I love that. What about the democratically elected government of Chile back in the day under Salvador Allende? What about the democratically elected government of Iran under Mossadegh? That's weird. They didn't care about that, did they? So yeah, they support Rodrigo Paz. They support efforts to restore the peace, security, and stability of the Bolivian people. You know, lock them up. That's what they're basically saying there. Okay, so Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Guatemala, Panama, Paraguay, and Peru issued a joint declaration rejecting all actions aimed at destabilizing the democratic order in Bolivia. We got to pull up the map. Chat, we've got to pull up the map. You got to make sure we don't have anything wrong about the map. All right. Okay. So we've got Argentina, cucked maxed. Chile, cucked, we know that. Costa Rica, cucked, yes. Ecuador, yes. Guatemala, yes. Panama, yes. Paraguay, yes. And Peru. Peru, where are you? I know you're tiny. Where the fuck are you, Peru? Why can't I find Peru? Oh, there it is. It's big. It's right in front of me. Okay, we did it all right. Yeah, so this makes sense. So map is mapping. Okay, you know what? When I said it was tiny, I meant in my heart. I didn't mean literally, because I did obviously notice that it was not tiny on the map. It was, in fact, one of the largest countries of South America. But as I am an American with a poor public school education as it comes to global geography, and Peru, I did not see it there right away. It must be small in my mind and in my heart, which is historically how my people, whites, Anglo-Saxon, American, etc., have created maps. So really, when you're mad at me for saying that Peru is small, it's an offensive to my people, white map makers, who historically have always made maps based on our vibes about how significant places are to us as white people. So that's my culture, is to minimize the size of other countries if I don't feel like there are enough white people there. That's my culture as a white person. You're going to take that from me? You're going to call me out on that right now? You're going to call me out on that right now. Wow. So much for the tolerant left. So much for the tolerant left. Streamer can't locate Peru on a map, and all of a sudden, nobody's tolerant anymore. I see. Mallory says, I appear to be forgetting these countries containing brown people are incapable of self-governance and autonomy. They require a capitalist to control them, like me. I actually know their real size. They don't know that they're tiny. They didn't know that I knew better than them about their size. That they should be like this, that. I knew they messed up really by being that big on the map. They're wrong, not me, is what I'm telling you. So, just food for thought. It's just some food for thought. My geography's real bad. Sorry, everybody. Okay, so we've got more of the same stuff being reported here. Our map did its duty with the united front of cuckness across South America, unfortunately. And we don't need to read the state. Well, should we read the statement? The State Department published it. Was this? Yeah. No, that's a different one. No. Joint statement. Maybe it's over here on. Ah, there it is. Ah, it's in Spanish. This is going to be really, really painful. Joint communication. A joint declaration about the situation in Bolivia. Some countries below, firmly manifesting our concern with the humanitarian crisis in Bolivia. The protests, the street blockades, and that's because of there's some problems. They have problems. They have ailments. They have problems. Okay. There's an orientation to destabilize the democratic order and change the government. They want to change the government of Bolivia, but they were democratically elected in 2025. You missed so much. You've missed so much. I'm trying to translate Spanish live. I did door knocking and I had to talk to people in Spanish over the weekend. Finally, at one house, this woman's granddaughter came out. I was like, "Do you need me to help you?" And I was like, "So much. I so much need you to help me." Literally in Spanish, I was talking to these people and I was like, So there are people, political people, but not like normal political people. They're not rich people. They work like us, and they work for us as regular people. Do you want information? That was literally what I was saying to these people, but in Spanish. And you know what? All of them were like, thank you. Yeah, you're doing a great job. It was so embarrassing. It was very, very, very funny. You're doing Chinese and Spanish together? That's awesome. So yeah, we're watching me struggle with a kindergartner's understanding of Spanish right now. I really do speak Spanish like a kindergartner. That's the best way to put it. So yeah, they're just saying that they are supporting the government here and the people of Bolivia, but they're really not, right? Because they're like, they're democratically elected. This is what the people want. Clearly they're not. They're like, they've got all these political actors out here, that we need to do some dialogue. They need to respect the institutions, and they need to preserve the peace and stop acting up, basically. Okay, so there's the joint statement. All right, that's it. That's the gist of it. Luckily, political writing is very vague and simple and doesn't actually say anything. So, Okay. Now, we have this story. Wait, there was somebody who provided additional context. Who sent the link to additional context and I missed it? That was useful. Somebody sent this and I wanted to look. We also have this story from 2021. It's a voice thing though, so maybe we don't need to read that. You can find it again. Let me see if I can scroll up. Was it from Liberation News? I'm so sorry. I thought I copied it, but I guess I didn't. Or in my confusion over Spanish and maps, I destroyed it. Maybe. Yeah. I'm interested. Hi. Yes, everyone's abuela said, bless your heart, mija, to me. They really, really did say that. And one guy was like, well, I don't have papers, but my brother does. And I'll tell him to vote. And I was like, that's a win. A win is a win. A win is a win. So thankfully, all of the words you learn in your first 6 years of public Spanish actually do help you talk about things like that. Bolivia section. Okay. Autistic body. Thank you. Humanitarian face of colonial expansion. Thank you. Got it. All right. So, this article says democracy promotion programs in Bolivia extend back to the mid-1990s, investing in decentralization and regional autonomy initiatives. Okay, so this is talking about, obviously, in Bolivia, they had a socialist party that was really, really popular. The United States was trying to undo it. In 2019, there was a period where the socialists lost control for a little bit. And then now, obviously, in 2025, they had an election and the capitalists won. So this is a big program going back that the United States has obviously been investing in via USAID to try to change their political structure to be less socialist and be more pro-capitalist. I just want to point this out. Investing in decentralization. So decentralization, again, this is where I'm always like, when I was like an anarchist or like a left com or whatever, I could not in good conscience claim that decentralization and like, I don't know, deregulation, things like this, were negative when Republicans did it, but positive when I did it as an anarchist. And this is the kind of stuff where I'm like, saying decentralization in the context of how it helps advance imperial objectives and doesn't protect against them. That was something that was really important for me getting in the right place politically. So from 1996 to 2003, USAID awarded Chemonics International a $15 million contract to implement a democratic development and citizen participation program in the country. This project aimed to rally support and build trust for the then government and state institutions. In turn, it would undermine the growing support of the movement towards socialism, MAS Party, and de-radicalize its base, which consisted of indigenous farmers and peasants opposed to the exploitation and extraction of Bolivia's resources by international corporations. As Neil Burren explains, Chemonics was particularly concerned with creating the impression that democracy was working effectively through the decentralization plan, a concern that it too linked to the threat of anti-systemic forces, i.e. MAS. One report warned, and again, MAS, the protesters in Bolivia right now, a lot of them are aligned with MAS. One report warned that the 2004 municipal elections would provide MAS with an opportunity to bash the system in general, and hoped that the more effective mayors and councils would be put in place to reestablish confidence in Bolivia's democratic institutions. USAID also sought to co-opt MAS strongholds in the coca-producing regions of the Yungas and Chapare by bringing the municipalities into the national mainstream and building their capacity to provide services and resolve conflict. In 2004, USAID set up an Office for Transition Initiatives in Bolivia, and it was billed as a bureau of USAID that works with local partners to target key political issues such as conflict, democratic backsliding, terrorism prevention, and stabilization. So again, when you talk to liberals about USAID, they don't understand that USAID is a regime change operation. So if they're like, oh, it just provides aid, just ask them, why do they say that one of their goals is terrorism prevention if they're just doing foreign aid? Very clearly, they're a politically motivated actor in these regions. OTIs in practice function as U.S. intelligence agencies overseas, yes, and funnel millions of dollars towards NGOs and opposition parties who align with U.S. policy interests. It was OTI which contracted the Virginia-based consulting firm Casals and Associates to coordinate a series of workshops and seminars to build opposition against 2005 MAS presidential candidate Evo Morales. Once Morales was elected, OTI shifted focus to funding and supporting separatist movements in eastern Bolivia with the intent of building a movement to destabilize the newly elected government. The goal of OTI was to split Bolivia into two states, one governed by the indigenous majority and the other a resource-rich area of the east that are strongholds of European-descended elites, and unsurprisingly where the separatist factions were based. After years of the subversion, Morales expelled U.S. aid from Bolivia in 2013, as he should have. But this technique, too. Okay, fine, we'll give you locals your little land over there with nothing happening, and we'll just conveniently take through a separatist movement the area that's rich in resources with all the white people. It's exactly what we would probably love to do in Cuba. This is, similar to what we did in Korea, right? So, divide and conquer strategy, yada, yada, yada. There's only one playbook, and it's only got a few plays. And that's what's going on there. What did you miss? You missed a lot, sarcasm. You missed a lot. My Spanish, my geography. Not great. Okay. So, yeah, European descended elites, very, very similar to Cuba. And again, this is the thing too, that if you're ever talking to liberals about Cuba, I really think the end for them is to get them to understand Cuba the same way they understand chattel slavery in the United States. Just bring it up. Just most of the people on the island are a lot darker skinned than the Cuban Americans you see here in the United States. I wonder why, right? I wonder why. What a Cuban looks like in the United States is very different than what a Cuban looks like in Cuba. The reason is that the Cuban Americans who fled to the United States, they were European descended elites as well. Yep. That's the exact reason why America didn't care that the USSR, what the USSR did in the north of Korea. They wanted the South more. There was no reason. It's over 80% rugged mountainous terrain. Sometimes people tell you, like, well, South Korea is over 70% mountainous terrain. Well, it's 70% mountains and hills. It's lower mountain levels. It's hills. That's not the same as being 80% rugged, inhospitable mountain terrain, which is what North Korea is. That's why, the United States didn't care about North. There's nothing there we wanted. Who cares? They barely understand chattel slavery, though. You're right, Transbox Girl. Yes. Oh, yeah, I can post that for you guys. Hold on. Let me send it really fast. I'll do that, and then we'll switch to map for the last few minutes here. Thank you guys for letting me share with you the Black Panther Party as well. Our guy, Harry. Okay, let's open it. All right, so for Burger Reich purposes, before I move on to the new liberal flogging I'm undergoing currently by these loser psychos. The funny thing is, like, for as obsessed as these people are with getting scammed all the time, they think everything's a scam. They literally are falling for every scam, but that's fine. Okay, whatever. This is my DM with this liberal who's mad at me, who's attempting to use me saying, hey, I think it's fucked up that you made a video on the internet spreading lies about me that materially affected the conditions of not just my life, but all 11 other people at the worker collective I'm at. That's not cool, and you never took accountability for that. What's up with that, you fucking weirdo? That's weird. You're, like, not a good person for that. That's a bad thing to you. You objectively did a bad thing, and I think you're a bad fucking person. Then she turned that into an opportunity to sell concert tickets as a musician. So, a fucking loser. Whatever. So, this is our convo. I DM'd her after she made her first video, and I said, do you want to have a conversation either over DM or live? I'm down for either if you want. I'm working from home today, not sure what your schedule is. Then she said, not sure why it got marked as this was in my inbox. It hadn't been approved yet. I said, maybe a glitch. This app is super buggy, especially since January. Are you interested in talking at all? It's okay if not, but I thought I'd ask. And she said, I'm not exactly sure what's left to say. And then there's more on that, but not much more. There's just me responding with one thing. Being very fucking confused by her. This is the thing. I'm always confused because I'm like, what? And I said, personally, I have a lot of questions. But if you don't, then we don't have to talk. Just wanted to put the option out there. That was it. And I do have a lot of fucking questions. Questions like, do you know you're a liar? Do you know you made videos making up several lies about me and spreading them on the internet? Do you understand that those videos contributed to 12 people's quality of life being affected because you got on the internet and repeated misinformation without fact checking it? Do you know that? Do you feel like you should take accountability if you didn't before? Now that you know that you actually spread lies on the internet, do you feel like maybe you should? Do you feel bad about that? Do you feel remorse? Do you feel like shame? Do you maybe want to be like, my bad? I just have several questions, and it really is trying to figure out on the sliding scale between ding dong and evil. What % ding dong and what % evil are you, babe? Because I don't know. And right now you're ringing real evil. You're ringing like 90% evil, 10% ding dong. I have more sympathy for ding dong than evil though. Yeah. Liberals have no conscience. I know. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Why? Okay, so bourgeoisie. I am going to say I was petty on the internet. So like 2 years ago, they engaged in dogpiling me with disinformation. All right. And then I saw on their alt account, they posted a video like not complaining, but just being like, oh my God, it's just like the reality of being a musician. Nobody buys tickets to your shows. I have this whole like tour planned in multiple cities. I've only sold 135 tickets across every single event. And so I was like, oh, I can like, and in the video, she was like, this is my alt account, not my main account. Like my main account has a lot of followers, which it does. So I was like, oh, well, like maybe I can go like share her music. I'm gonna go check out her main account. So into her main account, and I saw that she was blocked. And I remembered a little bit. I was like, oh, I think I remember this person, but whatever. So then I left a comment on her page, and because I don't block people willy-nilly. You guys know me. I like a troll. You gotta really be weird as hell for me to block you. Like you gotta, because I'm like, what's up, you fucking sicko? What's going on in there? Talk to me. Like I want to, like something about me is very intrigued by people. I want to understand how they work. And even like then, I'm like, I have several questions for this girl. Like, 'cause I want to understand how they work. I want to get it. I don't get it, and I want to get it. So whatever. So it takes somebody being real deranged for me to block them. Okay. So yeah. So basically, I made a video then, being like, oh, I was gonna go help promote this girl's music. And she, at the end, was like, oh, and I didn't say her name in the video. I was just like, I just saw this video pop on my free page. This girl is a musician. Did not say her name at all. And I was like, but then I went to her main account and realized I blocked her, which I only do if you're real fucked up. So, honestly, like, you probably participated in this mass dogpiling of me, which I do remember she did, but I couldn't remember how. And I was like, so with the internet's not being nice to you, fuck off. You actively use the internet to harm people. You are a person who gets on the internet and uses the internet to hurt people. You did so many fucked up things to me. Like, the internet's not being nice to you? Fuck all the way off. I hope nobody buys tickets to your stupid fucking concert. I hope nobody fucking goes. You're a bad person. So here's kind of the video I said, but I didn't say her name. She, of course, saw this. And then she outed it as being her. And then made videos with my name plastered across it. Madeline Pendleton says, they hope nobody comes to my stupid fucking concert. Painted themselves as a victim. In the video, though, they're like, did I engage in a dog pile? Yes. But, and then proceeded to just say all the same fucking weird lies over and over and over again. And then was like, really, I'm like innocent, ooh, baby victim. So after they made that video, that's when I DM'd them all that. I was like, do you want to talk? And then they didn't. And then they proceeded to make more videos to try to sell concert tickets. And apparently the videos went super, super viral. Everybody's buying concert tickets. People on my page like, just to spite you, I bought a concert ticket. And I'm like, you are so stupid. Like, you are a ding-dong dumbass. Like, you fell for a stupid viral marketing scheme, right? This person's not a good person. It's crazy. That's it. They want me to get bullied and say nothing. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It's very, very weird. So my video about being nice versus kind was about her. I don't think she's nice or kind. I don't think she's either. I think she's a fucking bitch, is what I think. That's what I think. I think she's a fucking bad person and not very nice. Yeah, no, the comment sections are really, really ding dong on my videos. This is the dumbest people on the planet. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you know, when I was a little kid, imagine an autistic child who doesn't speak to anybody. The first time I went to preschool, I got very, very, very bullied. And my dad was like literally afraid, and the kids were a lot bigger than me. I'm very small. So my dad was literally afraid the children were going to kill me, and like pulled me aside and was like, these kids might kill you. Like, you have to stand up for yourself. So that's when I really learned to like start standing up for myself. And it's the thing I learned. It's like, no, you don't, there's certain ways nobody's allowed to treat me. You don't get to get on the internet and just make shit up about me and be fucking vile. And the thing that's a bummer is they want you to just sit there and take it. That's what they expect from like an influencer or something, that you're not going to say shit back. And the crazy thing is, it does make me very unlikable. Like, to defend yourself makes you very unlikable on the internet. They don't want that. They're like, even people who like you are just like, why are you responding? And I'm like, well, because at the very fucking least, look, now your whole weekend is caught up with this. So even if it makes me look bad, there has to be some accountability, some recourse for you doing this. So maybe next time you make a video about somebody on the internet, you're going to think, hey, last time I did this, it occupied 72 hours of my life. Even if you won, it still took 72 hours of your life. It was at least a time suck. So are you going to do that again to somebody else? Is it worth 72 hours of your life to do this again to the next person? So this is the thing, is I'm like, the only thing I can do in terms of imposing consequences on you for being a heinous fucking antisocial human being is to remind you that you don't get to do this consequence free. At the very least, I'm going to annoy the shit out of you for like a week. So you really think twice about doing this next time. So that's it. Yeah. It's very, very interesting. Yeah, why did you do this? Because fuck your Saturday. Now we're both miserable. Exactly. Why did you do this? And this is the thing, too. I'm like, I would not know your name if you hadn't done that 2 years ago. I would have no fucking clue who you were. But here we are. Yeah, and so other people don't see it. Whatever. It doesn't matter. You don't do things because it makes you look good. You do things because it's the right thing to do. And it is the right thing to do, absolutely. To hold people accountable when they do fucked up, shitty, antisocial things in the world. Right? So that's it. They're saying use ChatGPT because you used a dash over in her comments. You know, I'm 40 years old. We just learned how to correctly use M dashes. It's just how writing works. That's ridiculous. And now she's being awarded, for being an antisocial fucking freak on the internet. Yeah. Such is life on liberalism. Psychopath. Yeah. She's just a crazy person. So liberal brain rot. Yeah, you know, and that's the thing. Even still, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna say it or whatever. Yeah, M dashes are acceptable ways of having bonus thoughts in your sentence, especially if you're like me and you're mouthy. All right. Yeah, you would never have known what I was talking about until she identified herself and made a bunch of videos. Exactly. She was mentioning North Korea like a fucking psychopath. And this is the thing. Every time somebody says North Korea, just imagine Palestine in their place and listen to how fucking evil and depraved they sound. Right? Well, thank you. I'm just like, yeah, at the very least, you don't deserve to be comfortable this weekend. Like, fuck off. Very, very crazy. Weaker people will concede the dash to protective text, not me. It's so funny. And that's the thing, too. Like, this is, again, like, herd mentality. They don't know that M dashes are associated with ChatGPT, because I don't know that, because I don't use ChatGPT. I just know people on the internet made a video and said that once, and that's how they get their whole view of the world. Somebody on the internet made a video and said this once, and I'm going to say this before we get into map. We will do map, but I just want to close it up. One of the biggest issues we had at our company is that I hired 3 people who were my friends before they started working there, when they were down and out and needed work at the company, and 2 out of those 3 people were the worst workers we had. All right. And I think they felt a sense of entitlement from being my friend. Like they could get away with doing less or being worse to people, or I don't know. It was really, really, really weird. And one of the people in particular only did 10% of their work for 2 years in a row. And they had an important job. They had a design job. So it's like, we don't have a company without you doing your job, you know? They only did 10% of their design load for 2 years in a row, which ended up costing a total of $1.3 million in lost sales. And it was this thing. We were constantly like, how do we get you to do your work, babe? Because we had this approach where it's like, everybody's entitled to work. Capitalism doesn't insure it to you. We are not going to fire people willy-nilly. We are going to work with you. We're going to work with you. We're going to work with you. It amounted to a loss of $1.3 million in revenue for our company. Very, very, very significant. We had to take out financing to cover it. It was a whole crisis. And that person, when they realized that like it was going to come to the point where they had to be laid off, they instead kind of flipped out, staged this like episode at the company, quit in this dramatic show, tried to demand a bunch of money out of the company when they left that the company didn't have, in part because we had to take out debt to cover the lack of their workload, etc. But one of the things that other people at the company noticed about them is that they didn't, they would go on the internet and like listen to videos on TikTok and then repeat what they saw in a viral video as though it was a fact, and a fact they had just learned. And when asked where they learned it, they were always like, I just read it somewhere. So literally their whole worldview was getting shaped by the internet. And at the end of them kind of freaking out about not doing their job and starting to get held accountable for it, not even by me, by other people at the company who were literally coming to me and they were like, Madeline, is this person getting special treatment because they're your friend and you're the founder? Like, what's going on? Like, this is getting ridiculous. And I got to the point where I had to be like, dude, you have to do your work. Like, I do not know how to beg you to do your work anymore. Like, please just do your fucking work, or I'm like, my ass is on the line. I vouched for you, you know? All this was happening. They tried to, it was at the same time that I was getting canceled by everybody at the end of 2024. And they basically went around to not just everybody at our job, but everybody in town, repeating all the things people were saying about me on the internet as though they were true. And everybody else who worked at the company was like, but like, we know Madeline and we know those things aren't true. So like, you literally are getting your whole worldview from the internet. And it was this really interesting thing because I didn't understand that's what was happening until other people at the company pointed out to me, and they were like, yeah, no, this person's entire worldview comes from a video they saw on TikTok once. And it's like, there's no questioning it. It's just like, that is the truth. Yeah, so thank you, Autistic Fatty 3. Yeah, so it was really, really interesting, and interesting to see it play out in real life. And the thing that ultimately was the final straw was that I guess they had been telling people that I was like falsifying their numbers, that they were working way more than they actually were getting credit for or something. And I didn't know they had been saying that, but I was like, hey, like group chat, like message, can everybody go in and verify that all of your designs are tagged as you in our back end, so you're getting full credit for them in the software. I built this interface that will automatically live show you all of your sales for any time period based on that tag. And that's when like she realized she couldn't like lie about her workload because it was all from our system. It was all raw numbers. And that's when it all came to a head. It was very, very interesting. Was work that hard, or they were just very lazy? You know, I'm not going to say that they were lazy. I think it was more that they did not have a sense of urgency about the job, and they wanted to do the fun parts, but not the boring parts. So in a design job, it's fun coming up with new ideas and getting started on projects, but it's tedious doing the fittings, following things through. When things don't go exactly as planned, coming in with comments to actually change it and make it a viable product. So they would start a lot of things and then just never finish them, which was an issue. And it's like, well, you have to do the unfun parts of your job too, right? You have to. So that was one of the issues. There was a lot of, and that meant a lot of money on wasted samples too. We do a lot of first, second samples. Product would never get finished. You know, it was an interesting thing. Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of people. Yeah, I heard this. I saw this. Nobody can ever say for sure though. Yeah. Very interesting. Anyway, so that is a certain type of person I have come to learn that just absorbs everything they see in a TikTok video, and that becomes their worldview. And you can't break them of this. It's literally like, you know, there's like ChatGPT psychosis people go into. I think there's literally like TikTok psychosis. Like, I think people are so committed to this thing they heard once on TikTok that, and it shapes their whole worldview, that it doesn't matter what's real. Like, they're living in a delusional alternate reality where this stuff is real. Yeah, the funnest part is seeing your design finished. I know, right? You want to see it finished, but that's okay. You know, that is what it is. Okay, so let's get into map with our final few minutes. Sorry, there was a lot of venting today. Your illusions are way cooler. Way cooler than the TikTok for you page? Impossible. How are they my friends but believe TikTok more than me? You know, I'm bad at making friends. I have a very autistic approach to making friends. I'm not very good at making friends. And this is why After this happened, all of my friends I've known for like 10 years plus literally were like, and I'd only known this person for like 3 years. Like I met them, we kind of knew each other, they got into a bad position, and then I offered them a job at the company because we were hiring and they needed some, whatever. So that was most of our friendship was kind of, I don't know, built over like a 3-year period, I would say. And like 1 year of it was before and 2 years was them working at the company too. And so that's why all my friends after that were like, you are bad at making friends. Like this person was a weirdo from the jump. We told you they were a weirdo from the jump. You didn't believe us. You defended them. Like everybody could tell. It was them and the other person. There were 2 people. The other person had a different issue. Millionaire landlord. The other person was a millionaire landlord. And both of those people, my other core group of friends who've known me a long time, were like, you're doing the thing. They call it taking in stray dogs. That's what they call it. They're like, when you don't make friends, you take in stray dogs. And like, that's bad for you. And so I'm like, okay, got it. Interesting. Yeah, and I think it does have a lot to do with autistic people and how we try to build community. Yeah. Oh, this is interesting, Mr. Timon. I'm guessing it's probably related to how word of mouth is the best form of publicity and propaganda because it's based on trust between the person saying and the person hearing it. Interesting. Is this self-create? Yeah. Yeah, I'm very, very bad at reading people, and I'm bad at like setting up appropriate boundaries with people. Like I say, don't understand how it works. So it's interesting. I don't think I'm a people pleaser. That's the weird part. Like I think that one of my exes described this as like, when like I'm very like confrontational with people who aren't my team, but once I've decided someone is my team, then they can do no wrong. It's like you're let in through the gate, and now it's like you're perfect and nothing. I get like rose-colored glasses. I'm like, no, but that's my friend and they're great. Everything they do is perfect. So you're saying that I'm a people pleaser because I'm like, we can disagree, we can blah blah blah, but I literally like can't see someone's flaws once I've decided I like them. It's like liking them is a light switch. You know, it's like it's on. I like everything about them now. You know. So I'm a campist. I'm a girls them. Yes, exactly. When I say I love women, I love them. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just something fucking weird about me. It's very interesting. I literally have problematic faves. Literally in my life. But I don't even know they're problematic. People will be like, this person did this fucked up thing. And I'm like, I think you're misinterpreting that. There's no way because they're good. So they wouldn't do that because they're good. So it's literally like, for people in my life, people I know, I'm very like, protective. But it's weird because like with authority, I'm inherently distrustful. I'm like, no, no, they're lying. Everything's a lie. With regular people I don't know, I'm like, fuck that person. But once you're in the fold, you're in the fold, you know, and that's the problem. Yeah. Yeah, you've appreciated this community and how it just calls us out when we're wrong. No, I like that a lot too. And like I think that the ability to like be like I've never struggled to be like honest about what I think, like, you know, so for example being like, hey, your sales are real fucked, like damn, you gotta do some shit, but like it's like a no judgment zone. It's like, I know life is hard, like it never would have occurred to me this was malicious or intentional or laziness. Even now I'm like, I don't think it's laziness or evilness. I think it's just something that happened, and that's usually my worldview. It's like to understand and be like, well, I understand how you got here and I don't judge it. But me, you know, sometimes maybe I need to be like, comma, but also I got to cut you loose from my life, right? Oh yeah, also you can't accept people who just lie about shit that can be easily fact checked. I know, it's crazy. Haley, to sell my partners with friends, it reminds me of how you describe problematic people you've been friends with. Yes. Yeah, a trans fox girl. Everyone loves having you around so someone pisses you off. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very interesting though. I don't know. I think it's like a social phenomenon. My partner, like the more they got to know me, they were kind of like, oh, like, I think I get it. And this is like sad. This might be like cry on stream hours. But they're like, because I like don't have a family, like I raised myself basically. Like I don't have a traditional family in the traditional sense of the world. I lived a lot of my childhood very, very, very independent. I took care of myself. My dad did a lot for me, and my mom also did a lot for me. Even though my mom and I don't get along, my mom taught me to be very independent, which I do appreciate and respect. And my dad loved me very, very much, even though the logistical parts of parenting were hard for him because we were just very poor. But the result of this, I did spend a lot of time alone, and I learned to be very, very self-sufficient. And my partner, recently was like, I think I finally like understand what's up with you and people. And they were like, you are literally walking in circles going, are you my family? And I was like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. You know, and it really hit me. So I was like, oh, okay, you know. And that's why. And then once somebody's family, it's like, well, they're family. You love family no matter what. You always defend family. But not everybody's actually family. And I don't get that. Some people have actual families, you know? Yeah. And I also think it's like a gay thing. Like growing up in gay culture, like you build your own family, like found family. But not everybody's family. Chosen family, yeah, exactly. Okay, should we do map with our final few, everybody? Should we do map? Neurodivergence, higher rates of abandonment, abuse, and I'm sure there is probably. Okay, we can cry together on stream, everybody. That's fine. Lilo and Stitch Block got hand. Is it Lilo or Lilo? Is it Lilo? I was too old for it. Let's just do map and cry with the final 15. No, Bolivia did not need to be updated. Because it's still, the government's still standing. But if they uncoup the capitalists, we will get to change it. Cry, hydrate, map. Cry, hydrate, map. Okay. So, let's get back into Africa looking at map. Now, we have some options here. We could do Zambia. We could do Malawi. Lilo, lonely. Oh, that's so sad. Let's do Zambia or Namibia. Shit. Does anybody have any preferences? Otherwise, I'll just choose one. All right, I'm just going to go Zambia. Let's do Zambia. It'll feel good. It'll feel good to fill it in there. All right. You want to do Madagascar? Okay, let's do Madagascar. Fuck it. Fiddler, let's do Madagascar. All right, wait, I have this, like, history pulled up. Hold on. Bookmarks, that's what it was. We have our 3 reference points we're doing. Bookmarks. For Madagascar. I actually don't know much about Madagascar at all. Are the penguins collaborators? Well, what we do know is that Madagascar is not one of the 19 MNNAs. So, all right, getting off to a good start. Madagascar. I'm like, this feels like too many A's, but no. Madagascar. Okay. Okay. Madagascar was a French colony. This makes sense. And they have not been on the sanctions list, and they have not had intervention, and they also do not have any U.S. military bases. They voted yes on the Gaza ceasefire and also for the Russia withdrawal. They're a pacifist. They're a Ukraine-Palestine flag liberal. Okay, all right, we're getting it. We're getting there. Interesting. Mississippi, do not talk to me about Mississippi right now, Big Gotco. Fresnissippi. We're going to rename that. We're calling that Fresno water when we expand there. Fresno, you mean Fresno water? Mm-hmm. Easier to say. Way better. Okay, I'm going to zoom in here first. This is the hack. Yes. Oh, shit, I did it too much. Hold on. Okay, there. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, this is a good balance. Okay, so. No, go back. Shit. This should not be that hard. Youth-led mobilization surged from Peru to Nepal, Madagascar, Morocco, and Kenya, where young people asserted their voice in public life and demanded more responsive democratic governance. Okay. Fascinating. That's interesting. This is like formatting strange, though. That's the only mention of Madagascar in this entire report. But this makes it sound like we wanted to back regime change in Madagascar. Right? Lemurs? The lemurs are coming up. Okay. Cruise giants. They want cruise ships. They detained a French national over a plot to stir unrest. A former French serviceman has been detained in Madagascar for allegedly taking part in a plot to destabilize the island. French. Prosecutor Nomena Renera, yes, okay, Miha Minsoa, Ramanantsoa, okay, said the French national had been charged with multiple offenses, including criminal conspiracy and plotting to sabotage infrastructure such as power lines and thermal plants. I think this is my first time encountering name structures for Madagascar. Like, you know, like when you're like, oh yeah, this is kind of like how the flow of that language goes or this naming system works. I think this is my first time encountering it for them. The French are Frenching, yes. Speaking in a video statement on Tuesday evening, he said other accomplices, including a Malagasy army officer, had been charged for the alleged plot set to be carried out on April 18th. Madagascar's foreign ministry has also expelled a French diplomat for alleged involvement in destabilizing the country, which France has denied. The French, I believe Madagascar. The French foreign ministry responded by summoning Madagascar's charge d'affaires in Paris to vigorously protest over the expulsion of its official, rejecting any accusations of destabilizing the regime. So they're like, we're innocent. And Madagascar's like, hell you are. The suspects in the alleged plot had been charged with spreading false information to disturb public order and harboring wanted individuals. Authorities referred to a WhatsApp group chat called Revolution of the Brave Citizens as evidence of their alleged... Not even Signal, babe? Not even Telegram? WhatsApp? Okay. Which would include power cuts, attempting to incite security forces to rebel against the government, and mobilizing young people to create unrest. This sounds very French. This sounds so France. Yeah, no mention of Madagascar on the Ned report, so it might just be France alone, as Malrich said. Yeah. Last September, the Indian Ocean island was rocked by weeks of youth-led protests, which helped topple the country's then-president, André Rajoelina. Colonel Michael Randrianarina led the coup and was sworn in as head of the state on October of 2025. Okay, we gotta figure out these guys. Old guy, new guy. All right. Some of the young people behind last year's protests have since fallen out with him, warning him not to hijack the rebellion. Okay. So, old guy who got cooed. There's this guy. And let's just look at the Britannica really fast. He was a DJ. The old president of Madagascar, leader of Madagascar, president of Madagascar, was a DJ. Okay. Oh, okay. Alright. I don't know yet if this is based as hell or not. We don't know. So... I have so many questions. I have so many fucking questions. We gotta look this guy up in the United States. Did the United States support this? Simple. Okay. Oh. Okay, so the United States did not like him. So the United States suspended aid and called him a coup. So he's based us out. This is our base DJ. Based anti-imperialist DJ. We love him. Alright, he is a based king. Okay. Voted yes on Gaza ceasefire, voted yes on Russia withdrawal, has no US sanctions. Yeah. I noticed that also. And I was like, Madagascar is the equivalent of having a Ukraine and a Palestinian flag together. By any means necessary has a David Graeber quote that says, for almost 2 years I've lived in the highlands of Madagascar. Shortly before I arrived, there had been an outbreak of malaria. It was a particularly virulent outbreak because malaria had been wiped out in highland Madagascar many years before that. So after a couple of generations, most people had lost their immunity. The problem was it took money to maintain the mosquito eradication program, since there had to be periodic tests to make sure mosquitoes weren't starting to breed again, spraying campaigns, etc. Lots of money. But owing to IMF imposed austerity programs, the government had to cut the monitoring program, and 10,000 people died. Wow. Okay. Got it. So they were in IMF debt. All right. So the United States condemned the process under which the old president was forced to resign, and DJ Madagascar came to power. A series of events is a coup d'etat, they said, and the United States will not maintain our current assistance partnership with Madagascar. So they hated him. State Department spokesman urged Madagascar on Friday to return to the rule of law. Now, did USA support the new guy, Colonel Michael Randrianarina? I think this is an us guy. I think this is an us guy. Putin gives blessing to the new Madagascar leader. Okay, maybe not. Charts a new course with France. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Let's see what Trump says. Let's see what Trump says. Can you guys hear Zay grooming herself? She's licking her paw, but like right next to the microphone. What do you think about this? Okay. So Madagascar's top court invited the new army colonel to serve as president after a power grab. Military took power after leading a mutiny backing Gen Z demonstrators. This sounds like a coup attempt. This sounds like a color revolution. And asked them to organize new elections within 60 days. Took control of the African island after weeks of youth-led protests. This has Gen Z protests. You know, it has color revolution all over it. I just really feel like it does. You hear it? You have no idea what you're hearing? Sorry, I can't move her. She's happy. Is it gross? Is it like that? Yeah. She's very clean. She's so cute. I'm very cat-pilled. I like the cat. Yeah, now that you know it's the cat. I can barely hear her, but the microphone picks up so much for you guys. Okay. So, we don't know much. All right, so Putin came to meet with the new leader. This is the current leader. This is from February 19th of this year. And he said he was counting on Russian support as his country goes through a difficult period. He traveled to Moscow on a Russian chartered plane weeks after the Kremlin sent military equipment to the island nation. Putin told him that Madagascar was an important partner in Africa. I would like to know that we have many interesting areas of cooperation. These include agriculture, geological exploration, blah, 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 blah. Russia has sought to pivot to Asia and the global south since 2022. Some stuff about Ukraine. The Wagner Group sought to expand its presence in Madagascar. We know what happened there. Madagascar charts a new course with France. Renewed ties on Tuesday. Despite steps taken by the former French colony to draw closer to Russia, they're playing the field. They are playing the field. Yeah, well, that's how I came to respect Zay. Anything that tries to kill me that much, you know, it's mutual respect at that point. You gotta respect him. So Andrei Rajolina, what was his deal with Russia? What is going on here with this situation? Since 2020, coups in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have reshaped alliances with Sahel, with those governments drawing closer to Russia, a trend that has not gone unnoticed by Western diplomats. Hold on. Okay. She laid on the cord. I had to switch to the computer audio for the end. Oh, it's so funny. Yes. Oh yeah, I can do it when we're done today. Yes. She's really going for it. Okay. So we've got some. This is interesting to me though. France intends to remain a key partner with Madagascar. The United States did not like this guy, Andrei Rajolina. Putin. What was his relationship with Putin, though? Kiev talked with Putin all the time. No, this is the new guy again. Russian operatives offered money to multiple Madagascar presidential candidates. Okay, in exchange for Russia's support for the eventual winner of the election. All right. At least 6 out of Madagascar's 35 presidential candidates were offered money by dozens of Russians. 3 of the Russians were politically connected. God, I really don't know what's going on here. Putin specifically. Huh. All right, so basically what we have here is that there was a USA-aligned government in Madagascar. Then this DJ overthrew them. And then he got voted. No, it was like a military coup, I think, that occurred. The new president is this guy, Michael Randrianarina. And he is friendly with France and with Russia. We don't have any info about him in the United States. Was the last guy, though... What was up with him? And I don't know. USA News, maybe. This is an interesting one. This is a head scratcher. Who toppled the Madagascar government? The president fled the country. There were protests. The new guy took over. What? Coup attempts. There had been repeated attempts to assassinate him and remove him from power. Did he do any nationalizing of key resources? This is the biggest head scratcher one we've had so far. Huh. Madagascar coup putting country's fabled natural resources under siege. Political crisis in the African islands. This is 2009. This is a while ago. What are their natural resources? It seems like they have a lot of coups. Because, like, look. This was 2009. Former president, a business tycoon with an authoritarian streak, was ousted by the DJ turned mayor of the capital city who had military backing. Poland, drug trade. I mean, they kind of are, but it's like, how evil are they? How evil are they? Russia has genuine security concerns regarding NATO and Nazis in Ukraine. We don't have to love Russia or Putin to understand that. Yes. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with Madagascar. It's almost like, is Madagascar its own category, but not necessarily derogatory? Oh, wait, Mr. Chat Convo, whatever you said was correct. That was correct. Virgo was right. Whatever that was about, yeah. Graphite. Pencil lobby. The pencil lobby is staging coups in Madagascar. The fuck? All right, so the United States hated the DJ. We do know that. Did we reinstate our aid? Yes. We started reintroducing aid. Okay. All right. So we're happy with what's going on there now. You know what I'm thinking? I am thinking No, hey, could you not do that, please? I don't like it when you do that. Yeah, it's not nice. I like the curtains. I don't think you need to do that there. No, you have scratching posts. Hey, psst, psst, psst. Hey, don't do that. No, no, no. How do you fight with a cat? No, hey, no, now you're stuck. Now your claw's stuck. Now you gotta use your teeth to get it out. She got a whole crisis going on over here. Here's what I think. Say, psst, psst. No, come on, bud. No, oh my God, that was horrible. That was, no, hey, psst. No, no. You can't reason with her. No, she wants to claw up the curtains. She loves it. Citrus, that's right. You guys said that. I need to do that. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they're cucked brat. This is my position. My position is cucked brat on Madagascar. Here's my argument. They had a guy in charge the United States did not fuck with. We cut off all aid. A coup happens. All of a sudden, their new government, they're getting U.S. aid again. They're talking to France again. However, they're also talking to Russia. And Russia is trying to expand its influence on the continent. So, my opinion is that if they're had a random coup that made the United States start to give them money again, they're talking to France. There's very cucked status, right? There's very cucked status. But they're pursuing conversations with Russia just because that's smart for them economically. So I'm thinking cucked brat. Does anybody have any complaints or arguments? Cucked with fresh brat status. Exactly. This is what I am thinking as well. They are like cucked, but like, I don't know. They're so new. So we'll see how it plays out. We will see how it plays out. Remember, when Castro first overthrew Batista, the United States backed the new leader because they were like, well, we don't know this guy. He comes from a rich family. He's probably going to fuck with us. He's probably going to like us. He's probably just want to do business with us. Fine, whatever. We don't care who's in charge. Batista, Castro, whatever. And it wasn't until Castro was like, haha, joke's on you. I fucking hate the United States. And they were like, no. So since this is a pretty recent coup, it seems like that could be what's happening. We don't know. We don't know what this guy's actually all about. So right now, they are taking the aid from the United States, which has a financially dependent relationship. So that's kind of cucked, right? And it's not like they're doing trade deals. They're getting aid. So, but then they're talking to Russia. So we don't know how it's going to pan out. So I think we should keep our eyes on Madagascar. But for now, I think they are cucked brat territory. They are a probationary cucked brat. I think so. I think so. Yes. You were biased because you feel the lemurs because you do. I do love a lemur. So I think we went a little late today, chat. Here's what I think. I think we end with a beautiful picture of a lemur. And I send you off. Is Larry streaming? Larry's streaming today. Yes, yes, yes. Also, I'm going to save the map. Oh my God, I didn't hit save. Oh my God, I didn't hit save on the map. Hold. Ugh, I did not save Madagascar. That was a crisis. All right, hold please. I will save it and I will upload it in the Discord for everybody too to see where we currently are. Yes, download map. Larry's still camping? Is Larry camping? Larry's camping, real camping. Okay, who do we want to... Rob? We'll do Rob. Larry's actually touching grass. I love that play. I like Larry. It's great. Rob is always good. Let's read Rob. It's all one word or is there an underscore? I always forget. Fuck, I can't spell his fucking name. Oh, Rousseau. There you go, you wrote it. One word. Boop, 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 boop. You love it. Yes. Larry camping IRL, not online. Real camp. Okay, you guys. Thank you for a lovely stream. There was a lot of weekend stuff to catch up on with my lib cancellation, with the Black Panther meeting. I think we did pretty well. Bolivia. We're all up to date though. And tomorrow we're going to be back with our regularly scheduled stream. Less personal stuff involved. Full-time streamer win. I wish, honestly. I would love it. But, bills. Got to make that money. If we want to do that, we got to grow somehow. Telling you, I have to start getting hot for the streams again. That really was working. We were getting traction when I was getting hot for the streams. I'm going to do more. Tomorrow, hot for the streams. I promise. Hot for the stream tomorrow. Comrades, we will do it. Okay. Thank you. Artistic Fatty 3. I think I'm like gay hot right now, though. Not like straight hot. Straight hot looks different. Straight hot's a whole thing. I can do it. I just got to try. All right. I'm sending you over to Rob.